Hello, everyone, and welcome to Our Life Beginnings and Always, the final part, I'm assuming. It's a big assumption, but this is so exciting. I'm actually pretty excited for this. Cove has been a darling these last few reads, so I am excited. Welcome, Princess. Welcome, Dragon Kitty. Hello. We love to see you all. So this is the last section, I think. They said there are only going to be 3 parts, but there is DLC for this game for like even further. I won't be playing them on stream. I might get them on my own sometime in the future because I really do love the characters in this game, and it's sad to see them go, but so is life, eh? Last time we confessed our feelings to Cove, and I was expecting for Cove to confess his feelings to us, so I wasn't prepared. I wasn't mentally prepared. That's all I'm gonna say right now. What are we gonna do now that we're a couple? I don't know. Go for a drive, I guess. Here we go. I might sound a little funny. My nose is still stuffed up, but I'm not sick in my opinion. And if I was, I wouldn't be streaming this game right now. I'd be definitely doing something else. Okay, anyway. Enough stalling. Like a lazy cat, you stretched your arms above your head and yawned, blinking your eyes sleepily. Ah, that's such a nice description. I like that. The day was warm and pleasant, and you were lounging on the couch in the living room, finding it difficult to do much in that moment. I've absolutely fallen in love with this game. I'm so excited for the second game. Oh, that's so good to hear. I love this game too, and I heard they have more. And perhaps we'll play those? Maybe? Yeah, the sequel's gonna be awesome. That sounds good. I think that'll be put on my roster because this is really good. You can tell that I'm stuffed up, Princess? Okay, good, great. I thought I didn't sound that different, but I guess I do. Your moms and Liz have gone out shopping, looking for some new items for your sister to take back and decorate her college dorm with. They had asked if you wanted to go with them, but you declined. For you, today was all about relaxation. Cove had dropped by to spend some time with you, content to join in with doing nothing. The two of you had been chatting idly as you lazed around, talking about the other things you had planned for the summer. Oh, let's see what we're doing. You were sitting next to him. He sat on one couch while you sat on your own. You sat on one couch while you were fully stretched out on the other. You were stretched out across him as he sat on the couch. You were cuddling on the couch? That's so cute! But I can't handle that. Obviously, I'm gonna do something else. Personally, can't handle it. I'm just going to sit next to him. That's as close as I can get. His arm was resting along the back of the couch, and his long legs were stretched out in front, totally at ease. The day dragged on, and you found yourself yawning more and more often between conversations. You had almost dozed off completely when suddenly a buzz rang out, disturbing the silence. Who dares disturb my silence? Your phone was on its charger in the kitchen, so it couldn't have been that. Cole pulled his own phone from the back pocket and checked the screen. His movement had jostled you, so you tried to readjust your position to get it right again. It's my mom. Oh, I forgot I'm doing voices, right? Well, he said it's my mom. Cool. Cove waved his phone in the air, giving you a small smile. I like your mom. I'm gonna talk about how much I like your mom this time. I'm gonna take this. I'll be right back. Okay. He made a small noise. Yeah. Why do you have to leave for that? Wow, intrusive much? Sure. Okay, it's your mom, can't I hear it? You held on to him to keep him there. Aww. I want to hear. At the same time, I don't. Sure, whatever, go whatever. Okay. He gave him a light nod of the head, and then I became uncomfortable and had no pillow to sleep on. He got to his feet and stretched out, answering the call and holding the phone to his ear as he headed off. Hey mom, what's up? Tell her I said hi. Yeah. Tell your mom I said hi. He turned to give you a nod, smiling as he walked backwards toward the door. The lock clicked behind him as he exited the house, and you sank back into the cushions, idly trying to decide what to do next. After electing to grab your phone from its charger, you resumed your position on the couch, tapping away at the screen. What am I playing? Is it Love Live? Well, that's what I would be playing at this age. Love Live School Idol Festival. Your mind drifted away from the thoughts of Cove and his phone call, all the many ways your device could distract you. Oh, with all the... It was an effective enough way to kill the time, and you had managed to do various little things when the door opened again and Cove returned. A small smile pulled at the corner of his lips as he shuffled over to the back of the couch. He reached down to give one of your shoulders a soft stroke of his hand. Aw, is something good happening? I'm back. You gazed up at him, fondly. Wow. You put your hand over his. I'm glad this game is ending. I can't take this anymore. I can't take this lovey-dovey stuff. I can't do it. You stretched up to hold his face. You tilted your head. It's like, I tried to do that last time. I'm not doing it again. I'm just... Oh, it's all bad. It's all bad. I can't do this. Forget this. I don't want to play this game anymore. He stretched up to hold his face. God, I hate all of this. Okay, eeny, meeny, miny, mo. A flush of pink stained his cheeks, but he didn't move away. What do you want from me? His skin was so warm and smooth, you wish you could hold onto him forever. Well, that's probably true. So, good or bad news? It seemed like good news. He turned his head suddenly, running a hand through his hair and letting out an exasperated breath. He seemed nervous, but you couldn't imagine why. It's fine. Not anything to worry about. You raised an eyebrow at his tone, moving your head to the side as you try to meet his eye. That doesn't explain what's going on. He shrugged and gave you a tight smile, trying to play whatever it actually was off as unimportant. There's nothing going on, just stuff I can deal with later, some other time. He was transparently avoiding the truth, and you stared back at him seriously, an indication that you weren't going to ignore what he was doing. It's hard for Cove to keep secrets, isn't it? Not me, though. Oh, pro. Eventually, he broke beneath your stare, hanging his head in his hands and groaning. That was easy. I need to make another trip to my mom's place. There's some stuff out there that I'm gonna use, so I have to go pick it up. Oh, he said he has to go. It wouldn't make much sense to ship it, and I couldn't bring the stuff back with me last time, since I flew. Oh. I see. Suddenly you understand what the fun conversation had been about. Cove was going to drive to his mom's house in Nevada. When will you go? Oh, I'm gonna take a guess. I'm gonna take a guess and say that we're gonna go to his mom's house too. That sounds like fun. Mom thinks it would be best to do it now while I'm still kind of free, but... Cove pouted, giving an unhappy look. And you could see the prospect was already taking a toll on him. Poor puppy boy. I don't want to go. I just got here. Oh, I was just there, and for longer than usual. Why do I have to leave? Right now? When it's our last summer like this? So that's nah. You laugh, not knowing why he was being so difficult. Yeah, why? Do you have like feelings for me or something? Why would you be upset about that? You thought he was cute and he wanted to stay. You can hack it. Oh? Let's hack it. I don't want you to go either. You shook your head affectionately. Oh, oh, oh. My poor little Cove. I think I'm gonna do that. He was always dramatic. Looking up again, you met his bright aquamarine eyes, finding a sad smile tugging his lips. Oh? Suddenly, his eyebrows jumped, and his eyes lit up like a lamp. You could come with me. Yeah! I mean, what? You should come with me. I mean, I get that the two of us live next door to each other and my mom lives in another state. My trips there are usually to spend time with her, just the two of us. But this time it won't be like that. And all I'm gonna do is drive over, stay for the night, and then pack up the car in the morning and turn around again. Most of the time will be spent in the car, so it'd be good to have another person there. Just saying. Plus, you'd have the chance to see my mom again, and her place. And I know how much you love my mom. You tell me all the time. Anyway, maybe we could find something cool to break out on the way. Find something cool to break at? What are we breaking? He couldn't stop yourself from laughing at his enthusiasm. He blushed a little, reining himself in. I just feel like it could be fun. Please, could you think about it? Thoughts done. I predicted this. MLG pro player right here. I'd love to. When do we leave? Yes, good response, Donnie. Good response to me. I'll have to let my moms know, but as long as we've got nothing else important on the days we pick, there's no reason I wouldn't be able to go. Hot dog! He grinned from ear to ear, thrilled by the news.
So glad.
Aw, I'm so glad. This is so great. I'll call my mom back and let her know right now. Bye-bye. You spent some time together going over your schedules and making plans for when you could take the trip. You needed to fit in around both of your work schedules. I have work. What do I do? Good for me. Which took a bit of doing, but came together in the end. Luckily, it was a 2-day trip, so finding a couple free days in a row wasn't impossible. It wasn't long before the dates were finally set and all the plans were made. Ah, how exciting! Yeah, we're excited! This sounds a lot more fun than that trip we made to the friggin' market. That was whack and boring. A short trip sounded like the perfect way to spend some time. You could listen to music, eat snacks, and enjoy the open road. Ine. Sounds pretty good. No matter what you thought about things, the morning when you were due to leave arrived. You know, the first time me and my friends took a car ride was actually pretty recently, like this year maybe. I've never like just driven with some friends and that's it. That's pretty wild. It was cooler than usual, the sun barely peeking over the tops of the houses. You stood outside your house on the footpad near the road waiting for Cove. We were going to a Korean barbecue. It's pretty dope. You yawned loudly, covering your mouth with the back of your hand. Mornings are always a struggle. Well, yeah. With your travel bag clutched in one hand, you watched as Cove finished packing up his car. Had organized all sorts of things. Water bottles, snacks, and who knows what else. Could be anything in there. A body? I couldn't tell. Cove insisted he had everything under control and didn't need help. At least you could rest easy, knowing that it was all taken care of. As you waited, you glanced over Cove's car. You knew it well. It used to belong to Mr. Holden, and when Cove had learned to drive, it passed to him. His dad had taken the opportunity to get a newer one. Oh, did he? It was pretty old at this point, but but had served both of them well so far. You just hope it had enough life left in it to survive a trip as long as the one you were embarking on. Wow, he got himself a new car, did he? That's so great. You know, some people buy their kids new cars. That's fine. You can do whatever you want. The slam of a door closing made you jump. You snapped back to focus and saw Cove was walking towards you. He dusted his hands off on his pants and tilted his head towards the car. That's it, ready to go? I don't think this thing is gonna make it. This hunk of junk, how did it get you anywhere? I didn't say that. Yeah, I'm ready. He smiled and stepped aside, giving you space to situate your own bag while you were where you wanted it. Once everything was safely inside, he glanced back at you.
All right.
We should get started. It's gonna be a ways to go. So desu ne. Woo, woo indeed. Am I too tired for woos? You smiled back with a nod. Yeah, woo. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's get the show on the road. He chuckled at your enthusiasm, shaking his head slightly. Don't judge me. The two of you climbed in the car and buckled up. Cove in the driver's seat and you sitting shotgun. His eyes moved to you. To me?
Thank you.
Thanks again for coming on this trip with me. Hey, I'm doing this for me too. It'll be fun. Let's make it about me. After checking the mirrors and starting the engine, you pulled out of the driveway and the trip began. With a small sigh, you got cozy in your seat and watched the familiar houses in your neighborhood pass by. Do you guys have like a preference for how your car seat is? If you're going shotgun, do you like being laid back, or do you like kind of sitting square? Okay, let me know. I don't know why I asked, but I was in a car recently and sometimes I have to adjust the seat to be more square because I don't like the idea of laying down in a car. I don't know why. I feel it feels too relaxed. I have to be on alert. Cove reached over to turn on the radio. A crackle of static mixed with the odd snippets of song filled the car as he flipped through the stations. Mr. Holden's car was in good condition, but it was, well, older. There was no way to plug in the phone to play music, so the radio had to. Eventually he settled on a classic rock station before sitting back and resting both hands on the wheel. Ah, classic rock. Is this okay? Yes, can I change it? I would rather listen to, J-pop, please, if you have the option. Can I change it? I don't like classic rock.
Sure.
Yeah, let me change it. You took over changing stations, cycling through a few different ones before settling on something you both approved of. Oh, only the available stations? I guess this is an old car. No, pass me the aux cord, come on. Time flew by, and with the scenery outside your window, the scenery outside your window became more and more unfamiliar. Neither of you spoke for a good long while, but the quiet was comfortable. You had become all too used to each other's company over the years. Wow. Eventually, Cove broke the silence, clearing his throat softly before he spoke. And so will I. It's been too long since you and I spent time with my mom. I know she still comes to the neighborhood sometimes, but it's not even once a year. I'm always going to hers. I'm happy the two of us are doing this. Yeah, me too. Your elbow resting on the windowsill, you gazed out at a world that was slowly coming to life as the morning rolled on by. The sun climbed higher in the sky. Luckily, the beams weren't go right into your eyes. Oh, I hate that. Hey, do you mind reaching back for me? Cove gave you a sidelong glance as he drove, indicating with a nod of his head and a tiny smile. No, I get motion sickness. I can't do it. I want some chips. The salt and vinegar ones, please. Num num. That's what he said, verbatim. It's crazy. So funny, Cove. That's a great flavor. You know how... I don't know how you can eat that. Oh, I love that flavor. I used to eat it all the time. Hello, Sophie. Welcome to the stream. You didn't miss much. We are on a road trip with Cove to his mom's house. And he wants some chips. Right, eat whatever you want to. I brought a bunch of everything. Stretching out the seatbelt to give yourself space, you twisted in your spot and reached into a bag while holding snacks. I get pretty... I'm not good inside of cars, okay? I don't like the smell. I don't like to go fast. I'm very lame. It took a bit of effort to sort through the collection of goodies stuffed inside, but eventually the bag of chips sprinkled beneath your fingers as you pulled them out and sat back in your seat. Here. Thanks. Do you mind opening it? His eyes lit up at the prospect of snacks and you shook your head in amusement, popping the top of the bag. Am I gonna feed it to him? You poured a few chips into his hand. I'm not gonna feed it to him. He's driving. That's unsafe. I'm not gonna hand it to him. Is he gonna drive with one hand? Wow, we're so risky today. I'm gonna feed it to him. I'm just gonna hold the bag. With a smile, he dug into the bag noisily, picking out a couple of chips between his fingers and popping them in his mouth. Alright. The sound of crunching and rustling filled the car as he reached over from time to time, taking a few more. I want some, gimme! Ultimately, he elected to drag out an entire handful at once, losing a few chips on the floor. I understand. I understand. After that, you rolled to the top of the bag and stowed the chips safely in the back again. Man, chip eating simulator feels hard. When you turned to the front, it was to find Cove crushing the fistful of chips into his mouth, crunching loudly. He wiped his hand on his pants absentmindedly before gripping the wheel and spilling crumbs all over the place. Messy. Messy. Messy boy. I mean, I do that too, but not in front of people. We're too comfortable, Cove. We're too comfortable. How can you eat that much all at once? I'm impressed. I'm sort of impressed. Honestly, he's like a little kid. What the heck? He's a baby. Dumb baby. He snorted and pulled a hand from the wheel once more to flick the salty residue from his fingers at you. No! With a gasp, you raised your arm to defend yourself. You shook your head at the mess of crumbs that fell from his mouth and as he chuckled. See what I mean? Yeah, dumb baby actions. The hours drifted by much the same way as that, the two of you snacking and chatting as the day stretched on. It was fairly calm and quiet, traveling along the open road, and you found little in the way of interruptions. Can we get to like find a gas station? I'm bored. At one point you passed a "Welcome to Nevada" sign, and Cove gave a tiny cheer. He was in the disbelief that the two of you were seriously all the way in another state like this. Where were we before? I don't think I remember where we were before. If it was just like a day, and a few hours of driving, we're already there. Eventually you had to stop for gas and made a detour at a small diner to grab a proper meal that didn't consist of chips and candy. What do you need besides chips and candy? Milkshakes? Possibly, but I don't think a gas station has milkshakes. Wait, no. We didn't eat at the gas station, that's a dumb idea. After refueling both the car and your stomachs, the drive was back on. Just as the sun began dipping beneath the horizon and bathing the sky in a wash of orange light. Oh my gosh. I just reminded myself of something. I introduced my mom to sushi and she likes it a lot, and she made the mistake of like doing store-bought sushi, or I don't know if it was at the gas station, but it was something close to that, And she didn't know that she's not supposed to do that. Not supposed to just buy random sushi. And, you know, I was worried about it. I was worried about it. I like her enthusiasm, though. Cove informed you that there wasn't too much longer left to go. We're almost there. Oh, yatta. We were almost there as night fell. When night eventually fell in a blanket of darkness, the drive finally came to an end. And he's sleeping at the wheel? Well, that's impressive. Cove pulled into a parking lot of Kira's apartment building, the glow of the car lights disappearing as he turned off the engine and let out a heavy sigh. Why did I think that this lady lived in like the wilderness? This entire time I was like imagining this cabin in the woods that we were going to, but it's an apartment. Why did I think that? We made it. We're here. The two of you exchanged tired smiles, having successfully and safely completed the one half of the trip. What? One half of the trip? Oh yeah. Then we have to go back. Let me see your mom. You were relieved to have actually arrived and eager to get out of the car and stretch your legs. If we're here at night, that means that we can sleep over. You took the stairs up to the building together. After a knock, you were abruptly met with a flash of green hair as Kiara opened the door and immediately took her son in her arms. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh no! Is that a new outfit? Oh my gosh! Is that pajama Kiara? Or like, what is this? What am I looking at? Her hair is so good. Oh no, this is so good. There he is, my gigantic baby boy. She squeezed him for a moment and then pulled back to see so she could examine his face. This place is tight. Oh my gosh, it's so clean. Props to you for living in a clean apartment somewhere. Are you even taller than the last time I saw you? Cove gave you a look and rolled his eyes amusedly as she patted the tops of his shoulders proudly. Wow, she is so cute. I'm being very distracted right now. You say that every time I'm here. It doesn't even make sense right now. My last visit wasn't that long ago. Ah, hello, Squidward. Welcome to the stream. It's time. It's time. Kiara's mom time. I mean, Cove's mom. Cove's mom time. Kiara said he laughed before letting him go fully and ushering the two of you into her apartment. Then she turned to you, wide grin pulling at her lips. Donnie, it's so nice you came along with, and as a bonus, you've both arrived in one piece. How did you break your record last stream with almost 10 hours? Did I break my record? I thought really? Did I? Oops. Yeah, I guess I did go a little long. The drawing takes a long time, that's all. It was just a good time. It's good to see you, Kiara, my girl. It's been too long. Kiara beamed at you both, and while you would have loved nothing more than to settle down after the unrest after the drive, you could see she wasn't going to let you go that easily. So, how was the trip? I admit I was just a pinch worried. We barely made it. There was a bear. It was insane. I appreciate your concern, but it was alright. You felt the fussing was unnecessary. You let Cove answer that. Cove, take my calls. We barely made it. Oh, she's actually concerned, so I'll say something not horrible. Your record was a little over 9 hours and your stream was 9 hours and 50 something minutes. Oh. Well. Hi Taika, welcome to the stream. I thought I didn't beat my record. Oh, oops. Maybe I'll do it again. Don't encourage me. I appreciate your concern. No, I'll let Cove answer. I don't feel like it today. Maybe you should answer it. It was fine. No problems for us. So listen it. Her clapped her hands together, the bracelets around her wrists jiggling. I'm so proud. I can hardly believe how mature you both are. Where did all those smarts come from? Not me. Or your dad. You can see baby Mulberry's fangs. You can see baby Mulberry's fangs almost all the time. Okay, maybe not last time. The art stream, she was just sitting behind my tablet. But this time... she's doing just fine, by the way. Aren't you, Mulberry? Cove ran a hand over his hair with an awkward chuckle. I don't know, maybe I got it from my parents. Nah, I don't think so. Honestly, no. Maybe a grandparents or something. His mom looked at him deeply, her eyes glistening as she shook the sentimentality off with a wave of her hand. You have to be half asleep already, huh? I don't want to keep you up much longer. Early morning and any whoosies? Man. Baby speak. How do you want to deal with the sleeping arrangements? I've got only my own room and Cove's, but the living room couch isn't bad. Why didn't we call beforehand for this sort of thing? I don't want to sleep on... I mean, I'm fine with sleeping on the couch. I mean, it's a nice couch. Donnie can use my bed. I'll just sleep on the floor in the room. It doesn't matter for one night. Oh, wow. He said I'll sleep on the floor. Not even the couch, on the floor. Kara laughed out loud, startling you both. You raised an eyebrow at her outburst, giving her a quizzical look. Oh yeah, you'll just stay on the floor. You couldn't handle that much back when you were 13 with both your parents in the room. Oh no, she's bringing it up. She's bringing up that one time in the car. Oh my god, shut up. Cove blushed a dark red and gaped, completely unprepared for her to pull out that embarrassing moment from the past. How could you do that? Don't. Mom. That's so funny. I can't believe she did that. Touche. Touche, girl. You got me. You freaking roasted me. I got you. Yep, she's right. That's totally what you do. Hey, he's had a long day. It's cruel to tease the poor boy so late, even if it's true. You were annoyed. She knows he's sensitive. It was uncalled for. Am I a baby? Am I a dumb baby? You put a hand on Cove's arm and a show of support. I'm... This is hilarious. Am I gonna join in on the teasing? Because, I mean, it's pretty funny. Yeah, she's right. Cove hung his head in defeated embarrassment while you and Kara chuckled together. I'll take the floor. No, I won't. I'll sleep on the couch in the living room. Thank you for letting me have the bed. I'll take the bed. Yeah, you know what? I'll take the bed. It's mine. Thank you. Cove offered a small smile. No problem. So, would you be okay with me sleeping on the floor in the room? I'd rather be there than out on the open living room, even if there is a couch. I'd prefer if you were on the couch. I have to make this decision. Choose for yourself, nerd. He doesn't want to sleep outside. Fine, you can sleep on the floor. That's what you said you wanted. Sleep on the floor. You like a dog. A big dog that you are. Kara giggled softly, drawing your attention back to her. All funny stuff aside, you need to get some sleep for tomorrow. Seems like you're setting yourselves up not to get any. I know that sounds really captious? What is that? Hold on. Captious? What does that mean? Captious. Of a person tending to find fault or raise petty objections. Oh, okay. Sorry, this is my word of the day. This is my word of the day for this game. There's always something new. I know that sounds really captious, but I'm a mom. I have to say these things. Come on, we're not little kids having a sleepover. We're responsible adults. Right, Donnie? Yes, very responsible, huh? No, we're not. You said, no, we're not. Well, I am. Cove, though. Dumb little baby. Goo goo gaga. Cove is, though I can't say it the same for myself. I definitely am not a responsible individual. Especially when I'm not by myself. Well, no. Especially when I am by myself, I think I'd just perish. With a crooked smile, Cove shrugged and made a small amused noise. Or sound here. I'll leave it at that then for now. Just remember that the walls are thin in this apartment. If you can't settle down and sleep, I might have to separate you. Will be good. Perfect. Kiara collapsed her hands together, her bracelets softly tinkling against each other again. It's only getting later, so we better prepare for bed. Let's prepare for bed. Let's get out of here. I'm tired now. It's been a long days. She nodded toward the hallway and gave you a small smile. I'll play hostess for a sec and show you where the bathroom is first, Donnie. And where you'll be staying the night. Thank you, miss. You hoisted your travel bag over your shoulder and followed behind Kiara and down the hallway. Cove shuffled along behind you, disappearing into the bedroom while his mom had you go to the restroom. The apartment was small but nicely decorated and soft, cool colors, with plenty of artwork hanging on the walls to give it character. That's what I'd call it, character. It was stylish, and exactly what you could have expected from someone like Kiara. Oh wow, this room is perfect for Cove. After being shown the bathroom and wishing Kiara good night, you headed to the room and found Cove already there. I don't know why I found that so funny. How do you wish someone good night, I wonder? What's your method? I blow a kiss. Mwah, good night. He had changed into his sleepwear for the night as well. Looking around, you found the bedroom to look much the same as the rest of the apartment, but with small ocean elements you were sure Cove must have enjoyed when he stayed here. All in all, the room was pretty and clean, though it almost looked more like a hotel guest than a bedroom. A hotel guest room than a bedroom. Cove only spent a few weeks out of the year here, so it made sense that it wasn't especially lived in. Oh my god, I forgot about these PJs. Did I select these PJs? I regret it. What do you think? It's pretty nice, huh? Mom always keeps it clean and everything, even when I'm not here. I'm surprised that she did that. She doesn't seem that responsible. It just looks like a hotel room. That's sweet of her. Yeah, she's good like that. Aw. He seemed pleased enough with the response and gave you a small smile before opening the zip up on his bag. When you went back to the room, you jumped in bed and under the covers. There's enough space for two people. What are you talking about? It's literally a huge bed. When you went back to the room, you jumped in bed and under the covers. Just as Cove was shuffling into his sleeping bag on the floor. He's such a big idiot. Why does he want to sleep on the floor? You waited until he was settled in before you flipped off the lights. Then a soft glow from outside peeked through the blinds, casting shadows over the floor. You close your eyes, blocking everything out.
Night.
Night, Donnie. Night, sleepy pants. Don't let the bed bugs bite. The room grew quiet as the two of you wound down for the night, and you found yourself listening to the sounds of the city outside the window. The noise out there was so different to what you were used to back home. Cars zooming past and people out having fun, instead of crashing waves and the ocean winds cocooning your house in their embrace. Blub, 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 blub. Cove shifted around in the sleeping bag, making the fabric crinkle loudly. I've outgrown this thing. I should have checked it earlier, but the trip was kind of short to notice. Are you sure you don't want the bed? Why don't we share? That was my initial suggestion. Here, why don't we share the bed? It's big enough. That's what I said. That's what I said twice. Cove inhaled deeply, the fabric of his sleeping bag crinkling loudly as he fidgeted beneath. I told my mom was gonna stay on the floor, and so I will. Baka! He frowned, wondering when that had ever stopped him before. Did you really plan on going through with that? No. That's what I thought. He hesitated a little, the silence stretching between you. You couldn't help but smile to yourself. You knew him well. The sleeping bag rustled again, and through the dim light you saw him stand and head toward the bed. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Baka. He took a deep breath as he ran his hands across the top of the blanket, gathering his nerves as his eyes met yours. Hey, what's the problem? And what's wrong? Let's go to sleep. Night night. And I turn around. And then he paused, head tilted to the side as if silently asking permission. Well, what are you waiting for? Sleepy time. You shuffled over to make room for him as he pulled the bedding up and crawled beneath the covers, leaving the two of you close together but not quite touching. He exhaled a heavy breath as he lay down on his side, his head getting comfy on the pillow next to yours. I thought this was about a drive. You know something? I expected the drive to be a lot more eventful, but it wasn't the journey this time, it was the destination. You smiled softly through the dark, thinking that it felt good to have him so close. He felt better when he was around. He raised his fingers and delicately brushed the tips over your cheeks. What? Why? Drawing a shaky sigh from your lips. Nanda! His touch was warm and feather light, making you feel tingly all over. Ah! Why is he doing that? Go to sleep! When his eyes met yours again, you found yourself lost in them. The world became still and silent around you. Oh no. Then he froze, his muscles tensing as he closed up like a clam and his breath hitched in his throat. He attempted to whisper something, but it was completely lost on you. With that having to suffice as a warning, Cove jumped out of bed and crouched down on the floor, his head held in his hands as he took in a few deep, stuttering breaths. You bolted upright in bed, staring down at him with a mixture of alarm and amusement. Did he jump out of bed and just crawl back on the floor? What a puppy. Are you okay? He's feeling like I'm feeling right now. I thought it'd feel like it did before when we were younger, but it's different now. I'm sorry, Donnie. Really sorry. I'm just so... I understand, Cove. Honestly, I'm surprised you did that in the first place. Not gonna lie. He panted deeply in and out as though he had just finished running an entire marathon. You okay there, buddy? You doing alright? After finally setting his breathing to a normal rhythm, he crawled back into his sleeping bag and huddled down on the floor. His back turned to you. Oh, poor buddy. He's so stupid. Sorry. Aw. You were not pleased. I was not happy about them. I'm not happy about this at all, but I'm not gonna make him do anything he doesn't want to do, you know. I was disappointed though. This was fun though. So close yet so far. So close to what? What are we doing? What's going on? Is there something happening that's going over my head right now? Well, at least you tried. I'm not surprised this happened again. Oh, what the heck? Passive aggressive much? Didn't say anything about it. Maybe I kept my mouth shut and went to freaking sleep. Why do we even bother? Oh no, if I felt disappointed, so I'm gonna say something like I'm disappointed. At least you tried. He made an apologetic noise, acknowledging that he had heard you, but could say no more. With a resigned sigh, you laid back down in bed, alone. Harumph. The next day dawned, bringing with the sounds of birds chirping happily outside the window. You opened your eyes slowly, letting them adjust to the light as you tried to recall where you were. remembering the unfamiliar sight of Cove's second bedroom. I wish I had a second bedroom. You had woken up on your own, reached over to turn your alarm off. Cove had nudged you awake. He can nudge me awake. I'm not particularly a morning person. I wake up on my own usually. Rise and shine, Donnie. Oh, it's such a beautiful morning. Cove shook your shoulder and you groaned dramatically and buried your head beneath your pillow. 5 more minutes. No way, we gotta get started. Sitting up in bed, you let out a yawn and stretched your arms above your head. You felt groggy. I'm actually feeling great. I felt... okay, let me think about it. When I go over to someone else's house, their bed is usually not the right kind of bed for me, so I'm gonna feel groggy. You are used to sleeping in longer than this, and the late night hadn't helped. Morning. Blech. The two of you were completely different wavelengths right now. You pulled yourself out of bed, grabbing a fresh change of clothes and your toiletries before heading to the bathroom. After all that, you met Cove back in his room. He was sitting on the floor when you entered, sorting through a bunch of stuff in a box, determining what to bring and what to leave behind. Hey, what's up, man? Why does sometimes his voice sound like a baby and sometimes he sounds like a normal? Hey, can you pull out the stuff from those drawers? You nodded, though he hadn't even looked up from his task, so you knew he wouldn't have seen. Heading over to his drawers, you started the task of taking out various items and setting them on the ground in front of Cove. Decide now, who lives and who dies? After a while, it became clear to you that Cove was acting strange whenever you went near him. He was flinching over your presence. Huh? What did I do? It happened a few more times before you couldn't take the awkwardness any longer. You dropped the stuff you were holding down in front of him and raised a questioning eyebrow. Is everything okay? Are you awake? Sorry, I'm just sorry about last night again. That last night was last night, Cove. Don't even worry about it. I've already forgotten. He quietly squeaked the last part of his thought. About not staying in the bed with you. It's not like I didn't want to. It's just I know you want to be with your own boyfriend and not have to feel bad about wanting that or be rejected over it. You shouldn't have to, but I do it anyway. Oh, I'm so stupid. He swallowed thickly, struggling to find the right words to explain himself. I do think it felt nice, really. It's just also not bad but good in an inconvenient way. I mean, laying together like that, being so close, it gets too hot, you know? Well, I got that. You don't have to explain yourself to me, I understand. Here, everything you do is written all over your face. His cheeks flushed with color and he immediately trailed off, his eyes firmly fixed on the floor. I get it, you just don't like me. That's fine. You'll stay the whole night next time though, right? It was that intense for you? Maybe I'm the one who should apologize. I'm sorry to bother you. I see how it is. Yeah, it's annoying, but it's what I signed up for with you. Do better next time. Do better next time, nerd. Well, what kind of responses are these? I think these are very funny, but I'll pick something normal. What if I did an uptight run and I was just like the most annoying person ever? Was that intense for you, huh? Maybe I'm the one who should apologize. No, next time. We'll get it next time. Yeah? His eyes widened, a pink tinge creeping onto his cheeks before he could duck his head enough to hide it. Will you? Now that you know what to expect? Probably. Okay, next time. Yeah, how about we go back to packing? With it more or less resolved, you went to grab some more items as Cole focused on the box in front of him once again. You're doing more things that confuse me. Oh, hey, look at this. When you turned toward the sound of Cove's voice, you found him digging through one of the drawers beneath the bed. Oh, there is a drawer beneath the bed.
Neat.
Here's something I definitely need to bring. Neat. Craning your head, you get a better glimpse of what he's holding. An old yellowing book. When he opened it up, there were a few dried pressed flowers between the pages. Oh, how cute. Those had been gifts you'd given him for his mom's place. Something for him to remember you by and make his time here less lonely. He kept them the whole time. What a sweetie. What a big, stupid sweetie. You don't have to hold on to those forever. I was only lending you those. I think I'll take them back now. Give them to me back now. It's adorable you care so much for them. You started to feel emotional. What kind of response is that? Like, okay. If I, imagine you're in here and you started to feel emotional. What does that look like? Like, what do you do? Is it like an action? This is so cute, but at the same time, it's kind of funny. It is funny. Cove is being a funny little silly boy. Of course, you should take them. Okay. Am I gonna start crying or something? What does this mean? It's adorable. Every time looking at this, it makes me think of a princess line. Not princess from the chat, but like, oh, it's adorable that you care for them so much. Anyway. Like just dismissing him. Of course you should take them. I'll just feel emotional. I think that's very funny. Oh my god, I am crying. Good back. I'm not gonna start freaking crying. That's so whack. You don't have to hold on to those forever. Okay, of course you could take them. Take them with you. I'd be hurt if you didn't. A small smile pulled on your lips as you thought back on when you had mailed your gift to Cove. I put a lot of thought into that present, you know, so much thought. I went out there, I picked them up, I put them down. It was a whole thing. Saw this in it. These are special. It was important having a piece of you with me when we were apart. Oh, that was so stupid. Don't say that. I feel the same way. That's why I gave them to you in the first place. Cove smiled, pleased that the feeling was mutual. But then the expression became more amused. And did you keep the souvenirs I brought back? What were they again? Of course I did. Well, chat, what was it? Do you remember? Of course. Of course I did. Are you stupid? I'm freaking... His grin grew to completion. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Bet. I kept them. What were they? Another hour passed in silence as you were happy to see you were both making progress with Cove's room, with only the closet left to sort through. I'm just making up words today. Oh, that's not even just making up words. You took a minute to take a mouthful of water from your bottle and perched to the edge of the bed, feeling productive. Water break. Good call, game. Cove glanced over at you and paused, putting down the tape gun he had been using to seal up his boxes. Don't a tape gun. You raised an eyebrow. You know, it's really strange to see you sitting in this room. Nanda, but why? He frowned a little, his eyes distant and his voice quiet when he spoke next. During the visits to Mom's, when I was sitting alone in this room, I'd sometimes think about how you weren't here. It was a weird feeling at the time that you just weren't around, and now you are here in this exact place. I don't know how to explain the feeling. Tell me if it on a scale of 1 to 10 how good the feeling is. He shrugged it off and smiled a little, as though he had said enough already. Didn't want to risk sounding silly. Oh, Cove, you always sound silly. Life is pretty confusing, is all. I didn't know you thought about me when you were away. That's stupid. Why would he not? I'm amazing. That's true. Life makes no sense. I miss you so much when you were gone. Aw. Oh my gosh, that's cute, but I'm not gonna say that. I refuse. Life makes no sense sometimes. That's so crazy, silly, and wacky. But I think we've both managed to navigate it enough, well enough so far. He smiled slightly, nodding his head a little. Yeah, I hope so. He looked away satisfied, heading over to the closet and the last of his items to be sorted. Before long, every box, closet, and drawer had been thoroughly combed through, with the items either neatly packed up in boxes or organized and returned to their proper place. With a sigh of relief, you glanced around the bedroom and the work you had done together.
Right.
We're done. Good job to us. I'm gonna change out of my PJs for the drive. Uh-huh. The two of you headed to why did I stumble on that? When the two of you headed out into the living room, ready to get everything finalized and hit the road, you found Kiara in the kitchen pouring a cup of tea. Aw, she's so pretty. Cove headed toward her, leaning casually against the counter that divided the two spaces. Hey, you didn't have to get up so early. Are you crazy? Of course I have to see you off before you go. You can't sneak away while I'm out cold. She beamed at him and, in all honesty, seemed more than happy to be up and getting ready for the day. Do you want some breakfast? I've got some... muesli? I thought I knew something about food. Apparently I do not. Hold on. Muesli? M-E-U-S-L-I. Oh. I'll tell you guys what it is. It is a cold oatmeal dish based on rolled oats. It has grains, nuts, seed, and fresh dried fruit. Okay, well now we know, huh? She's eating oatmeal. Old lady oatmeal. Muesli, or eggs and toast. Oh, and some of that fruity cereal you used to love. She eating oatmeal and cereal? That's okay, we really should eat on the road. Kiara smiled sadly and a little disappointed, but she seemed to understand that your time was running thin. I thought you might say that. In that case, I've packed some snacks for the road. Even if you don't end up eating them, take it anyway, just in case. You can always feed them to Cliff when you get home and tell him I said hi. Huh. No. Cove laughed and shook his head, knowing his dad would love nothing more than to polish off whatever food Kiara had prepared for you.
Thank you.
Man, that guy's down bad. Thanks, Mom. You really didn't have to. Thank you for the food. That's nice of you to organize this for us. Organize? It's just like, what does she make? I don't want oatmeal. It must be a mom thing to know stuff like that. I'll definitely eat whatever you've packed. Yep. I will eat all of it. You better leave some for me too. Kiara giggled, hiding her mouth behind her hand. There's plenty for both of you. She returned your smile with one of her own before putting her cup of tea aside. Well, I'll help you get the car back.
Sure.
Sure, thanks. Yeah. The three of you gotta move on, taking the boxes from Cove's bedroom and heading down to fill the backseat of the car until there was barely an inch of space left on the back of the trunk. With all of you helping, it only took a couple of trips to move everything, and you were done before you knew it. Then it was truly time to say goodbye. You convened back inside the apartment, where Kiara looked over the two of you with a quiet smile. It was great to see you both. Thanks for coming. She gave each of you a hug, and you felt a little sad that you hadn't been able to spend more time with her. Yeah, this trip was so short, and Cove was up on the floor again. It was good to see you too, Mom. Cove embraced her in return, the two of them holding each other for a few seconds longer. Oh, mother and son. I'll miss you, but I'll visit again soon.
Of course.
You better. Hey, we should make plans for you to visit us too. I'll let you know when it's settled. I'd love that. Kara bundled all the stuff she prepared into a bag and handed them over to you. You took a quick peek at what she had packed. There was fruit, nuts, seeds, hard-boiled eggs, and some veggie sticks. Okay.
Cool.
What about a squirrel? Oh, good to see we have some fresh food options now. The snacks I brought weren't. And you were right, Cove, you were right. Kara shook her head at him and let out a soft laugh, as though she wouldn't have expected anything else. I seriously hope you're feeding yourself better than that at home. Yeah, of course. Not just on trips. You know how it is. I can live with that then. Looked over at him fondly, her eyes at last focusing on his face and filling with emotion. I'm gonna miss you, baby. Me too, Mom. Oh, woo, woo, woo. Bye. Well, I'll be together again before you know it. I hope so. Kara put an arm around you both, pulling you in tight to her sides for one final squeeze. Have a safe trip. We will. Bye-bye. With a last goodbye, finally, Mom's, am I right? You exited the apartment, though Cove hesitated for a moment in the door, his expression distant. You weren't sure what he was doing, though you tentatively took a step towards him. Everything okay, buddy? Your voice seemed to bring him back to earth, and he shook his head to clear his thoughts, his green hair swaying from side to side.
Come on.
Yeah, let's go. With that, the two of you headed back to the car, ready to make the long trip home. Yahoo! I've passed me the aux cord this time. I got some beats. Soon enough, you were on the wide open road with a car full of Cove's things, and only one destination: Sunset Verde, California. Oh! We live in California. I see. The drive went as smoothly as... Where did I think we lived? Now that I think about it, I don't know where we lived, huh? How stupid. The drive went as smoothly as could be expected, with the morning slowly creeping into midday as the miles flew by. The day flew by in a whir of open road and sunshine, and before you knew it, it was early afternoon. By that point, you had already crossed the state line. Cove announced that he planned a little stop on the way home. Ooh! He was quite pleased with himself as you arrived at the precipice. Oh, Redwood National Park. Oh! Shaded beneath a canopy of enormous redwood trees, you drove along. Oh, we were here before. When Cove parked the car, you pushed the door to get out, and the first thing you did was look up. Enormous redwood trees surrounded you on all sides, their massive trunks shooting straight up into the canopy of foliage overhead. There were too many of them to count, stretching on and on as far as you could see. We came here as children. You squinted against the sunlight that was peeking through the leaves and dancing on the paths around you. Oh, man. If only I could read. It's great, right? He smiled at you from over the roof of the car before glancing around the place fondly. Remember the trip our families took here that one summer? Oh, I do remember, Cove. It was cool going on a journey and seeing the forest in person, even if we didn't stay very long. And I guess we can stay for even less time, but oh well. I know you didn't have a super good time then, but I thought you'd be able to enjoy the park now. It just seemed like a good time to stop by. Who knows when we'll get another chance? His voice got a little softer at the end. It seemed to be bittersweet for him, being a place he was so fond of, but not having the time to appreciate it fully. Yeah, I still hate this place, JK. JK. You're pleased to have stopped here. You felt pretty good about being here. Yeah, I'm fine. This is fine. It's fine. It was a beautiful place to stretch your legs and take in some fresh air. I'm different now. I'm different now than when I was a child. I can appreciate nature. Thanks for bringing me here. Will be more chances in the future, I promise. Oh, that's sweet. It's better than taking a break at a gas station. Yeah, I'll put up with you for the trees. I'll put up with this place for you. Oh, wow. You said nothing about that. It's better than a gas station, that's for sure. Cove nodded, his eyes drinking in the nature surrounding you. It's more beautiful anyway. The two of you walked around for a while, completely dwarfed by the sheer scale of the redwoods. It kind of put your view of yourself and everything in a strange perspective. Oh no, are we gonna have an existential crisis out here? You took a lungful of clean forest air, listening to the sounds of birdsong and the cool breeze rustling through the underbrush, taking advantage of the space to move around freely. I hate hikes. However you felt about being there was a totally different scene than sitting in that old car for hours and hours. I hate hikes, but I like to stretch my legs, so... You wrapped an arm around Cove. You took Cove's hand. Ah! You felt Cove nudge your hand? Oh, I like that as well. I'll do that one. He didn't pull away as he intertwined his fingers through yours, smiling at you as he relaxed into your touch. Being here again, you couldn't help but reminisce on what else had happened during the trip you had taken here all that time ago. There were a lot of things that had reminded you of it recently. Sorry, my nose is stuffed. You can tell I'm like running out of breath because I can't breathe. You looked over at Cove, who seemed to be lost in the peace of the place, and you wondered if any of it crossed his mind. Smiling at the sight, you thought back on what had been a highlight of that long-gone vacation. You know, we spent the night in the loft together. Why would I bring that up? Why am I such a brat? Elizabeth teased us mercilessly on that trip, remember? Our families were so close. Remember how birds stole your dad's lunch? I'm not gonna talk about his dad. No, not in a bad light, not in a good light. He does not exist to me. I've forgotten the classic ankle chat. Oh, I haven't forgotten it. Oh my god, I love bringing that up. It's funny. It's funny. That was a revelation. Cove scratched at his face awkwardly inside, seeming determined not to meet your eyes. I know you remember. I'm never gonna hear the end of it from you, am I? Nope. Not even a little bit. Do you still like them? I do. I think they're pretty sexy. He laughed quietly and sounded nervous and a little strained. Especially on you. Oh, he's so stupid. Everything was thrown on me, Cove. Of course it did. The words left his lips and you froze, completely taken aback by the compliment. Oh, I wasn't taken aback. This is a given. He blushed and quickly dipped his head, unable to look at you. Oh, look me in the eyes, Cove. You're so sweet. I love saying that. You put a hand on your forehead, pretending to swoon. Maybe I will pretend to swoon. You found it difficult to hide your blush. I could never forget. You can't just say things like that with no warning, Baka. You're so sweet. Aww. He blushed further, his face turning a deep shade of red. Your spirits were light as you amped past information boards and picnic areas. And then we made a plan to steal their picnic baskets. That's what me and Mulberry would do if we went on a picnic. He would steal the baskets and I would be lookout. But before long, he decided it was time to bring the short stop to an end and head back to the car to get on the road again. Cove sighed when he finally reached the vehicle, jangling the keys in his hand before unlocking the doors. I wish we didn't have to go, but we're going to be responsible and not stay longer than we should. I've grown up with you. He smiled slightly, and with that, the two of you jumped into the car, buckled in, and he put into drive. Fast and the Furious music started playing. You were getting closer and closer to town as the sun started setting. You were still far enough away that the radio stations were unfamiliar to you. Oh, car shot! Shot in the car! First car shot of the game. Cove twisted the dial this way and that before stumbling onto a channel with a song he seemed to like. That was a rare gift from the fates in the sea of static, strange radio jockeys, and grating tunes. If you let me put in the aux cord. His face immediately brightened at the sound of it, as he drummed his fingers along the bottom of the steering wheel happily. Sitting back in his seat, he bopped his head along in time to the tune. I'm going to sing along! Yeah, that's what I do. Cove raised a pleased eyebrow at your vocalization. What are we singing today? What should I sing? Emboldened by you, Cove decided to do a little lip syncing. Really? You should sing with me. Every now and then a part would be stumbled over, and by the end you were both laughing too much to continue. The song ended, and Cove reached over to start cycling through the radio stations again. Upon finding nothing tolerable, he flipped the dial off in defeat and leaned back in his seat with a sigh. I'm telling you, Cove, I've got the beats right here on my phone. Do you like Lucky Star? You rested your head on your hand and stared out the window as the sky darkened, watching the landscape slowly melt into more familiar views. The miles went on, and any energy you had earlier was beginning to drain away. You imagined home and your family. You'd soon be there together. You know, I spent all these years living in Sunset Bird and taking a few weeks each summer visiting my mom in that second room. That's not gonna happen anymore. Not really. I can still see my parents, but the way it all works between us has changed forever. He paused, the silence stretching. A serious look settled on his face, his thoughts far away. Bing, 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 boom. This is a nice song. I'm excited to be on the brink of real adulthood. I'm worried about how things will be in the future. I feel the same about my parents too. You should lighten up. It's kind of bringing down the mood here, Cove. You said nothing. I could say nothing. It could be an NPC and just say nothing. I'm worried about how things will be in the future. Well, not at my age. I'm never worried about what will happen in the future. I'm a very optimistic person, even if I have no reason to be. Maybe tomorrow will be better, I always say to myself. I'm excited. There are so many experiences we've yet to do. Cove's mouth pulled into a tight line, though he gave a small nod. Cove stared straight ahead, down the long, long road. The path looked like it'd never end from where you were, but that wasn't true. Eventually he found a few words to say. I think it's good we're able to do, I think it's good we're able to do this trip without any parents or chaperones. It's just us. We did it all. I don't know, I feel a little more independent now. A little more ready for what's ahead. Right? Yeah. It's a like it's a like a real first step to be on our own like this. It'll be here before we know it. What is happening with this sentence? It's a real first step to be on our own all the time. I mean, that's how I talk, but it's funny to see it in a sentence. The topic seemed to wear on Cove, and he made an attempt to find something else to speak on. So I'm kind of sad about getting back. I'm gonna miss having you right there tonight. I could come over. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? His eyebrows dipped and he laughed at himself in embarrassment. That sounded way more forward than I meant it to. It's just nice when you're nearby. I get it. I understand. I have that effect on people. You let out a chuckle to yourself and the atmosphere became more relaxed. The two of you falling into a comfortable silence. The sky outside grew even darker as the hours passed by, the stars blinking on like tiny fireflies painted onto a canvas of blue. The scenery continued transitioning between open roads, industrial areas, and beach towns, becoming increasingly recognizable as time went on. You felt somewhat disconnected from the world around you as you watched it through your window, your tired mind growing hazy. It was a strange, reflective feeling, but peaceful nonetheless. Soon enough, the world would return to you, and you'd find your feet firmly on the ground. It couldn't be helped. The adventure would end, life would continue, but your memories would linger on. Oh, baby! Yeah, that was fun. I like that. Actually, you like that. I was gonna say something. I totally forgot. Maybe I'll remember. I'm gonna take a little... I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Don't even blink. I'll be back so fast. You blinked and I wasn't back. Well, blink again. Blink again. I'm so sad this is coming to an end. I think what I was gonna say was that I'm definitely gonna buy the DLC. I think they're like separated to like which age you want the DLC. It's definitely this age I want it. This is I like Cove at this stage. He's very good boy puppy, and I kind of want to see what the rest of this stuff is, but that's for later. I'm gonna see what happened when summer ended anyway, and come back to these later. I think this is my favorite version of Cove. Hold on. Save, of course, and then summer ended. I gotta see what happens. This is exciting. Moths bounced around against your window, attracted by the light of your room. Oh, moths? I'd be so scared. A siren called in the slowly darkening sky. Just as the day was coming to an end, so too would summer. Liz would be moving back into the dorms before long. Luckily, Lee had been able to come stay for a short trip before her own new journey began. she'd officially been accepted to her first choice college a few weeks ago. Oh, how nice. How nice for her. How good for her. I love that. This was her last chance to see you all in person for... You flicked around the plans for the next few months, realizing that you didn't even know when you'd next have the opportunity for everyone to be in the same place again. Man, when summer ends, everyone says their goodbyes every single time. It was hard to think that you'd likely be seeing even less of your cousin going forward, but you were delighted that she was pursuing her dreams. Exactly. While you were still with each other, your family was going to have dinner together. As ever, the Holdens were tagging along too. Oh, Chinese restaurant? Your destination was that tropical place? Let's get some Chinese. It was somewhere at your It was somewhere your family had always enjoyed going ever since you and Liz were tiny. The long-standing connection made it a fitting location for a final meal out before Liz and Lee set off again. I wouldn't go to a Chinese the Chinese places out around me are just like takeout places. They're not exactly fancy restaurants. Technically, you were getting ready to go out though your mind was only half on the task. It was a pleasantly warm evening, the kind that epitomized the vacation feeling. Sorry, that gave me pause. And you were in no mood to spoil it by rushing around. Well, I can do it. I can read. I just have to say to myself what I can read. I can do it. While oddly lazing at your room, you spotted a small cluster of unopened envelopes. That must have been left by your parent earlier. You headed over to the table to flick through anything of interest. As a child, any correspondence felt exciting due to its rarity. You recognize now that most of it was mundane, but you are checking any mail you got more regularly as of late. I just get spam and people talking about car insurance and I don't have a car. There was something you were expecting. Is it my college thing? Am I looking for my college thing? College acceptance? You stopped at a crisp white envelope. The logo proudly proclaimed the sender, a school you had applied to. You took a deep breath and read it. You opened it instantly. You hesitated, worried about the possibility of bad news. I'm gonna take a deep breath and open. This next step would take nerve. You closed your eyes as you breathed deep, the air slipping through your lips as you opened your eyes once more. You pulled apart the glued flap on the front of the envelope and extracted the letter. Envelope opening simulator. Your eyes darted around the message, rushing past the pleasantries to get to the heart of the matter. The blood pounding in your ears deafened you to the world outside that was contained within these letters. Your heart skidded to a halt as you read your verdict. What do we think? We think we got in, or you think we big stoopy and didn't get in anywhere? No second chances. You've been accepted. Oh, that's nice. Okay. I was going to say we didn't. You could hardly believe it. I don't believe it at all. Overwhelmed, dizzy with nerves and excitement, you had to repeat the outcome back to yourself. Where are we going? That's so exciting. I don't remember being this excited for college. Eyes locked on the message as if it's afraid words might contort into something different, just like my words contorted trying to say it. Oh, okay, well, you were right, Sophie. I did get in. I wasn't expecting it, honestly. I don't know why. Just knowing myself. You had to tell your family right away. You'll make an announcement at dinner. You wanted to keep this news to yourself for now. You wanted Cove to be the first to know. Not silly. I'm this excited about it. I'm gonna tell my family right away. I want to see them. You tore down the stairs, your feet barely touching the ground as you leapt from one step to the next. Your arrival, which compensated for the excessive speed by creating a riot of noise, caught Mom's attention. Oh, hey Mom. Someone's hungry. Her eyes were twinkling, amused, as she let you catch your breath. So what's the rush for? It's not for food. I got into college. Mom whooped, holding out a hand for a high five. Oh, I am, aren't I? Thanks, Mom. The commotion had summoned the other women from various corners of the house. Liz looked up from her book, grinning, as Lee hurried over. Ma swept in from the side, wrapping an arm around your shoulders and squeezing you close. That's wonderful, sweetie. Hey, let me get in on that hug. Yeah. She wrapped her arms around you both. She wrapped her arms around you both without waiting for an invitation. Liz, her book neatly abandoned on the floor, tapped her hands in applause as she walked up to you. That's queen behavior, Liz. Thank you. Good job, Donnie. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, this is so great. Everyone's acknowledging me. Lee didn't hide her excitement, jumping for joy. Did I say jumping? Okay. Ignore that, please. Lee didn't hide her excitement, openly jumping for joy as she treated you to thunderous applause. Seriously? It's amazing! You're gonna be amazing! That's nice, but you shouldn't just stand there. Yeah, there's room for everyone. Yeah, everybody hug me! Your moms opened up the hug, both keeping an arm around you as they each held out another to invite Liz and Lee in. This group hug is so pleasant. Group hug simulator. Giggling, Lee dove into the hug. Liz rolled her eyes but allowed herself to be beckoned into the group hug. Your mom squeezed everyone together tightly. Yay! Mom's long hair brushed against your face as she turned to check the clock. We can take this party to the... Oh, wait. We can take this party to the road. We've got to head out for... Oh, wait a second. Ma and Mom. They should say Ma and Mommy so I can correctly identify them. The one on the left being Mommy. We can take this party on the road. We've got to head out for dinner soon. Nodding, you were aware that your attempts to finish getting ready had been cast aside in favor of congratulating you. You know, why didn't they ask me what I wanted to call them? I have to do a couple things first. It won't take long. Everything is a simulator to Donnie. Well, the way they describe it is so... It's so detailed. It just feels like, you know, certain things are just... just the specific things they describe is interesting. That's all I'm saying. Okay? You hurried back upstairs, though getting ready to go out was the issue at hand. You couldn't stop your thoughts from drifting back to the future. The movie? Your mind was buzzing over the news you'd received and everything that would soon unfurl. Everyone piled into the car while it was marketed as being suitable to hold 5 people. In practice, it made for a very tight fit. Your mom sitting in the front were fine. I ride shotgun. Hello, Bucky. Welcome to the stream. You, Liz, and Lee were squished in the back. Lee in the middle, wedged between you and your sister. But Mom was an excellent timekeeper. Thanks to her efforts, you pulled up near the restaurant in no time. Thank goodness. This image of the car is burned into my brain. The process of getting out of the car was slightly easier than squeezing into it, with much less coordination required to release seatbelts than to secure them. You gave Lee a hand as she clambered out from the middle seat and headed into the building as a group. I'm predicting what's gonna happen right next. We're gonna have a nice dinner or whatever. We're gonna do some sassy stuff, and then I'm gonna tell, and then Cove is gonna talk to me worriedly about college or something at the end, and we're gonna sit in fireflies or something. That's my prediction. A waiter greeted you as you entered. Ma let him know how many times you were there. Ma let him know how many of you there would be in total. Okay. And he went to arrange a table that met your needs. He returned promptly to guide you to your seats. You perched comfortably in your chair, your head held aloft as you buoyed, oh man, as if buoyed by today's good fortune. Your family settled down around you, all cheerful and looking forward to the evening ahead. I said it once and I say it again, the word choice in this game is meant to trip me up specifically. Your drinks order had just been taken when the Holdens came through the door. They were pointed to your direction, though with a mom waving an arm in the air, it was hardly necessary. Cove and Mr. Holden came to join you at the table. Ugh, Mr. Holden. As greetings were being exchanged, Cove took a seat opposite to you. It had been left empty by unspoken acknowledgement that you and Cove would want to sit together. Mr. Holden sat beside him. Oh great, that's so great.
Hi.
It's great to see you. Glad you could make it. Hello everyone. You wouldn't believe how hungry I am. No one asked Mr. Holden, shut up.
I see.
You came to the right place then. There was some laughter, though Liz groaned playfully, shaking her head at Mom's sense of humor. Growing up, she'd have complained, and Mom would have responded by making another comment. Liz had mellowed over the years, but she still made a show of despairing at Mom's jokes. Her reaction to them had become a joke in its own right. Menus were soon passed around, and a temporary hush fell over the table as everyone read. Oh god, oh no. I take too long to decide what I want to eat. It didn't last long, punctured by comments about what people had eaten here before and light chatter about what people were considering tonight. Once the waiter had disappeared with your orders, Cliff piped up. Oh man, this is the fastest I've ever made an order. What do you want, old man? What the heck do you want? So, I've got some good news. Kiara's making a trip out here tomorrow. Oh, that is good news for once, nerd.
Okay.
Cove nodded, returning from his father to the rest of the table. Oh, there you are. Yeah, we talked about it and figured this was a good time for everyone.
Very nice.
That's great. Everyone reacted positively to the news, though Ma looked wistful. If only we'd known. Here we are, having a big meal without her. If we waited one day, she could have joined us. Mom, stop being so pessimistic. Mom patted Ma on the back, gently nudging her from the realm of possibilities and what-ifs, and back to the evening that was going so well. Chin up. Lee and Liz will still be here tomorrow. We'll just have to throw another another get-together and keep the fun train chugging along. That's my mom. Good, good, good. Ma smiled warmly, taking Mom's hands in hers. That's true. There's plenty to celebrate right now, but there will be more good news and good times on the horizon. Right, and speaking of, that's not all we've got either. What is it, Mr. Holden? What have you got? Mr. Holden's eyes were alight as he sat up straight in his chair, face angled towards his son. You're gonna say something embarrassing? He barely let a beat go by before nudging Cove with his elbow, pushing him to follow up with the announcement. He was a very picture of a proud papa. Oh, did he get into college too? Cove shied from the limelight, ducking his head down and staring at his lap as he spoke. Oh, well, I've switched over to working full-time instead of only part-time. Plus, I've been looking at apartments. There's a few I can choose from. Oh, I forgot Cove said something about not wanting to go to school or something like that earlier. At some point, he's doing volunteer work mostly and working. Good for you, Cove. He flicked his gaze up at everyone around the table, a smile creeping over his face. That's what you wanted to tell us? Wow, I'm so impressed. That's so cool, Cove. I'll be pretty busy going forward. Apartments. He was moving. Can I come? I want to. I need an apartment. Cove was going to move out of his dad's house. After 10 years, he wasn't going to be your neighbor anymore. Oh, okay. Is that a bad thing? Mr. Holden gripped one of Cove's shoulders and gave it a loving shake. The excitement couldn't be contained. I have to remember that in this situation, am dating Cove, so I probably should be more invested in his decisions like this. Anyway. Incredible. Cove's actually gonna make it into adulthood. It's a miracle, but especially with me around. Mr. Holden leaned back in his chair, staring up at the ceiling in mock wonder. I wasn't convinced I'd be able to rear a kid all the way to this point, but thankfully I lucked out and got the best boy a dad could have asked for. Isn't that right, champ? Yeah, Dad. Cove blinkered his vision. Was blinkered a word? Shakespeare out here making up words. Cove blinkered his vision with his eyes on the side of his face. With his hands on the side of his face. Oh my god. Temporarily blocking his father from sight. What if his eyes were on the side of his face? Despite his genuine bashfulness, which left him unable to meet anyone's eyes after all attention was thrust his way, he was happy. Me and Cove are so different. I bathed in the attention just earlier. When my sister, my cousin, my mom all gave me all the hugs and attention, that was great. And well earned. I deserved it. Thanks. I was really lucky too. You're a good dad. Aw, come here. Come here, son. And he gave him a huge noogie. Mr. Holden threw an arm around Cove's neck, pulling him into as close of a hug as the seating allowed. He rubbed his cheek on the top of his son's head while Cove chuckled, accepting the affection with good humor. We're all in good humors today, aren't we? Ma leaned over and whispered in your ear, her fingertips brushing against your cheeks. It's time to give me attention! Me now! Ha! Would you like to tell Cove, Mr. Holden, what you told us earlier? Yeah, I would. I absolutely would. You tapped your glass with a fork, something you'd seen done in movies when people wanted attention. It didn't make quite the same noise, possibly because your glass was a tumbler and not a champagne flute, but everyone looked in your direction anyway. I've got something to announce too. Of course. Shut up, Mr. Holden. I'm speaking. Anyway, I got my acceptance letter today. I'll be going to college soon. Mr. Holden gave you a thumbs up. I don't care, Mr. Holden. Sit down. Sit down right now. Impressive. You're a good kid. The world's your oyster. Okay, that's nice. Thanks. Cove grinned at you from across the table. Oh, yeah. That's amazing. It's incredible. You did it. Congratulations, Donnie. Oh, thanks, Cove. You're so nice. No, seriously, this is really, really big and you deserve it so much. I do, don't I? Wow. You looked around at other faces of the company there. You'd been on this journey with everyone here for years, seen them falter and grow, and they had watched you go through the same. Now you were striking out on a new path. Cove was leaving his family home. Liz was heading back to college while Lee was starting at hers. You are all headed in different directions, to different destinations, some near and some far, but it wouldn't be long until you were all going your own way. Your heart swelled with pride for everyone. It is bittersweet. You turned your head to the side, wistful, not wanting to spoil the evening with your troubles. You were glad that everyone was succeeding, but the idea of splitting up gave you a twinge of regret. I should have bought the DLC sooner, you thought. These people had been key pillars in your life. Days ahead without them, no matter how bright and shiny, felt a little empty, like a theme park after closing time. But you focused on your mind. You focused on your mind on the sweet part. Your mind filled with the bitter part. I'll focus on the sweet. I don't want to hurt myself on this run. New adventures were still ahead, and you could encourage that optimism. And in reality, I feel terrible. I'm gonna miss them. Cove brought some attention to himself with the clearing of his throat and a small interjection. I'm gonna stretch my legs while we're waiting for the food and everything. Is it taking that long? You have to stretch your legs, dude? Oh my god. Sure thing, bud. Oh, not Mr. Bolton. I'm sorry. I say that every time he speaks at this point. With a tiny smile, he nodded at his dad, but the lightness to his expression faded when he moved his face to you. wanna come? He was attempting to be subtle, but there was obviously something on his mind, something he wanted to talk to you about alone. You watched him with concern as you rose from your seat. Yeah, I'll go. Take care. Yeah, let's get out of here. Let's actually get some desserts. With those parting words, the two of you walked about the place. He was trying to get as far away from everyone else as possible without actually exiting the building. What did you need to say? He hadn't admitted that what? Okay. He hadn't admitted that was what this was about, but he didn't need to. I'm sorry. Being illiterate is hard. I've read so much, you should all just be very impressed with me, honestly. Cove started pulling on the hem of his shirt. He turned his head back to face you, but it was an awkward movement. Well, I wanted to talk to you one-on-one about all this. You know, my work, moving. I mean, it was coming before, but now it's pretty much here. Yeah, it's exciting. Cove stopped picking at his shirt, and he seemed to respond well to that response. He was relieved that you weren't upset about it. I'm glad you think so. But then he looked down and his brows furrowed. You saw his hands shift away from his clothes to instead rub at them. Are you not looking forward to it? I am. Well, I'm trying to be. He ducked his head further, and you saw his face start to redden. But it's scary. I don't want things to end. Neither do I, Cove, but my thumbnail says it's the finale. Come on, you don't need to worry. You're going to do great things. So you're saying you're going to dress up as the future for Halloween? What? Nanda. Akaranai. You don't need to worry. It may be scary now, but it'll be worth it. That's not a sure thing. Oh, touche. Cove then turned his head away and wrapped his arms around himself. He felt a sudden chill that definitely wasn't caused by the air conditioner. I was just thinking, are we really gonna stay a couple? My fortune says no. His words came out hesitantly. He didn't want to ask this. He didn't want to know. Oh, I mean, the fortune says yes, of course. Why'd I say no to you, Cove? Are you kidding me? I'm not just talking about today, but forever, always. The title of the game? Even if things change later, right now, do you feel we can make it? No, bro. Oh, I'm just so sad. Or do you think we can't last? That one day we'll have to move on? Oh my gosh, that's so sad, bro. What did you miss? Nothing really. Cove is asking about us, about our future as a couple. You got mad at him for this? Dang. What's wrong with me? Why do I have that option? You kept calm. I'm worried too, honestly. I don't want to say bye to Cove, but the game, she's over. What if you grew apart? What if one day he just didn't want to keep up with his old neighbor? What if you both change? He's so sad right now. He's selling me on that DLC. You're selling me, man. Why did you have to bring this up now? You began to tear up. I'm not crying, baby. What is this? I don't know, Cove. I don't know anything. You should already know the answer to that. You just glared furiously at him. Why should I be mad about this? You can't get, he didn't call me any names. Why should I be mad? What is this? I'm not gonna cry. I'm a tiny baby. You should already know the answer. He stared at him intently and he looked away again.
So sorry.
Uh-huh. I didn't want to make you feel bad by bringing this up. I don't know what I wanted. But I felt I had to say something about this. If not now, then when? Maybe after dinner? I don't know. Out of the corner of your eye, you noticed a nearby table of people were staring. Cove's outburst had attracted attention. The eyes on you just made things worse. You felt overwhelmed, smothered by everything going on. You couldn't handle this. I need some air, alone. Man, I am not that humble. If somebody... I'm from the city. If people hear me, they hear me. It's a crowded place. What am I gonna do about it? Maybe they should mind their own business. Cove seemed pained, but he didn't protest when you brushed past him and left the restaurant. There was nowhere else to go but out. You stepped onto the sidewalk. A couple cars drove by on the main street and the breeze hit your face. You took a few deep breaths now that the conversation was no longer suffocating you. You weren't quite sure what to do next. Gaining space had been the only plan. You patted your sides on reflex and pulled out the spare key for your mom's car. Walking fast, you went down the sidewalk to the part of the street where your parents had parked. I'm not gonna sit in the car. You remembered going past a particular building on the way to the restaurant and managed to backtrack your way to the car without incident. I went all the way to the car? Why? This is so dramatic. Can you calm down? You unlocked the door with a shaky push of the button. The headlights flashed. Oh man, we're back in the car. You pulled open one of the back doors and tucked yourself inside. You shut the door and the car beeped when you locked it again. I didn't decide to do this. What am I doing? While putting the key away, you switched it out for your phone. There were concerned messages from your family. Were you okay? Was something happening? Did I pick the wrong choice? What's happening? Why am I doing this? Another text came in from your sister at that moment. You didn't respond to any of it and held down the power button. I'm gonna save so I can just go back because I don't know what I did wrong. I'll go back later. You looked back at your phone and stared at the blank screen. You could see part of your face reflecting back at you. Then you dropped your phone on the seat. You cried? Oh, little baby's gonna cry. You groaned loudly. I'll groan and laugh. I'm so upset. You couldn't help but feel frustrated. This was not how you would wanted tonight to go. This was supposed to be a fun dinner, celebratory even. I definitely picked the wrong response. I don't feel the same. But maybe that was part of the problem. You didn't know if the future was actually something to celebrate. Then you tried to go back to get my food. Empty your mind of worry, distract yourself, work through your emotions. Let me just empty my mind, huh? But come on, quiet down now. Shush, 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 little baby. Don't cry. You felt the seat behind you. It was firm but comfortable. If you listened, you could hear cars in the background and a few gulls. You willed yourself to drift off, to leave everything behind. You didn't want to think right now. A few minutes passed. You breathed in the quiet. The car started to get warm, but you didn't feel like turning it on to get AC going or roll down the windows. Like a puppy. Oh, never mind. You waited to the... We wanted to text Cove before you... where you went so you didn't worry. You wanted to text your family where you went so you didn't worry. You wanted to ask Cove to come see you. You just wanted to sit there. I guess I'll text... Well, I don't want to text the family. I'll just text Cove. Should I text my family? Wait, they're the one that texted me in the first place. I'll reply. Hey fam, just sitting in the car moping. You picked up your phone from the cushion and pushed the power button and it took a minute to boot up. I turned off the phone? There are plenty of additional messages. You sent out some quick messages so they knew you were alright. And that was that. After a few minutes you heard a tapping. You lifted your head up and your eyes met your big sister's. Big sis come to comfort me. Liz stared right back at you and raised an eyebrows. You hadn't expected her. She smushed her forehead to the window, mouthing something and pointed down the car. She wanted in. This wasn't exactly what you had in mind when you told them you were where you were. But whether or not you wanted her in was made a moot point when she just jingled a set of keys on the other side of the glass. Liz wasn't asking, she was informing. You slumped lower in the back seats. Liz walked around the car to the driver's side. Of course she thought to bring those. Slowly, deliberately, Liz took the spot at the head of the car and shut herself inside with you. Oh, she's such a good sister. She put both hands on the steering wheel. You could see part of her expression in the rearview mirror. She was thinking. Eventually, she twisted around so she could actually face you. She smiled thinly and leaned forward. What's going on? She didn't leave you any time to answer. Her smile turned teasing. Is Cove's cleanness starting to wear thin on you? Can you not joke about that? Not today. Don't you know I'd be crying for hours in here? No way, I'd never get tired of him. You scoffed. You only shook your head at her antics. You stared back at her without a word. Can't you tell I'm a moping, crying mess right now? Boo-hoo. No way, I'd never get tired of him. Oh, I didn't expect such an honest answer. She waved her hands and appeared actually apologetic. You suddenly noticed how awkward she was. It was a different look on your sister. She schooled her face into a more neutral expression. I'll be serious. Since we know that's not it, are you gonna tell me what it is? Or should I just keep guessing? She said those words as if they were a threat, and they were. And you can't say it's nothing either. We wouldn't be out here in a hot car if you were fine. You drummed your fingers on the cushion below you. From the determination on your sister's face, you knew there was no getting out of this. It was hard to process, so you let yourself babble. Hopefully if you said enough, Liz would understand. I don't really care that Cove's leaving. I mean, I do, but it's more that I care that everyone else is leaving. I mean, like that. I mean, it's just really hard. Things are ending. At least it feels that way. It's all over, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. It's all downhill from here. Thank you. I'll take my Oscar. Liz calmed and gave a nod. She smiled with understanding. Well, that was my second guess. You snorted at the reaction to your distress. Hey, it makes sense. Okay. Let me chill out. Hey, it makes sense. I felt like that too a couple years ago. It hasn't been that long since I was in your shoes. She absentmindedly brushed some hair out of her face with a thoughtful expression. Sometimes I still feel like that. It's not like I've forgotten what it's like to live at home with you and our mom, spending days in high school with friends. I miss what we had then. She laughed a short, sharp bark. I know I didn't always show my appreciation, but still, it wasn't that bad. You didn't have to forget this time either. Hello, Nightland. Welcome to the stream. Welcome back, Sophie. Yeah, but knowing you've lost the way things were doesn't mean you can't be happy again. Life can still be just as good as it is now. In fact, it can be even better. Thanks, sis. Oh no, Donnie's drama voice. Everyone be prepared. Did you like it? I was trying my very best. Wow, I'm amazed you feel that way with how much you whined. How can it get better? Thanks for coming out here. I like the first one. With how much of a whiny brat you were? Unbelievable. Oh, shut up. You weren't without flaws either. She stuck out her tongue jokingly, and the second feeling your chest felt lighter. You still had to be convinced. I love Liz. She's cool. But my nose is really stuffing up now. Okay. Donnie, do you wish you were 8 years old right now? Is that the ideal life for you? Worth giving up everything that came after? You let us sigh. Yes, maybe. I mean, no. Exactly, and later on you'll feel the same way about being 18. It's great when it happens, but being together like that forever wouldn't be. Liz turned away and started to fidget with her hair. She picked at the ends, detangling a small knot. She kept her eyes on her hands. You're totally on point. Yeah, thank you, Sophie. You know, you can do things on your own when you want to, but you still got a family to fall back on. She looked up to meet your gaze again. You saw not only her seriousness, but also a rare softness. You were touched at her sincerity. And I didn't elect to make that statement on my own. You raised an eyebrow and she shrugged. The crowd thought a sibling talk would be for the best, but it's not like I'm the only one who cared about how you were doing. She tipped her head to the right and you switched positions so that you could see what she meant. Were they all outside the window? Oh, you pranksters! Out the window you saw both your moms standing outside. Mom smiled at you and Mom waved. They started to head closer to the car. Oh, you rascals! Ma opened the door and they both squeezed into the back. You had to scoop up your phone and sit up so they could fit. You ended up with your back to the car door, Ma sandwiched in the middle, and Mom on the other side. Mom reached over to pat you on the head, and Mom tilted forward so she could see you clearly from around Ma. Is there room for one more? You searched around but didn't see anybody. You stared at them, confused, and Liz cackled. Mom threw a bone and gave a significant glance behind you. You twisted your head around and jumped. Lee had her face pressed to the window directly behind you. She smirked and then giggled at your shocked reaction. You were taken aback, but managed to grin at her. You scooted further down the seat, almost sitting on Ma's lap, to give Lee some space. I love when all the nice ladies give me attention. She flung the door open wide and then attacked you with a squishing hug. You laughed when Ma hugged you from the other side. You were trapped in the warmest hug you could ever remember. Mom hug.
Sweetie.
Donnie, you are my wonderful child and you always have a home no matter what you decide to do or where you might end up going. Aw, thanks, Mom. I should hope so. You became hyper-aware while feeling your test. It wasn't just from being crushed in a hug either.
Hey.
Also, you can always stay with your cousin if you don't want to have to crash with your parents. I take offense to that. Mom joked. Her eyes sparkled as she continued. What's wrong with visiting the old folks? Donnie at least has to come home for the holidays. What will we do without them? Liz snorted and you stayed caught in the hug. Lee squeezed you tighter. We'll have to check my schedule. I'm a very busy person. I'll definitely see you all. You teared up. You felt reassured. Okay, I'll definitely still see you all. Maybe. I'll have to check my schedule. I might be able to pencil you in. I never realized how cramped the back seat was. Everyone laughed. This bottle really was built for 4 people. As comforting as the embrace was, you were completely crushed. See, this is why I was smart and locked and took the front. I bet you were wondering why I did that before. Now it's crystal clear. Liz stretched her arms out, showing off all her free space. Move the seat up a little bit. Oh my gosh, you know my legs are long. Mom scoffed. You could feel her bounce in her seat. Hardly, you were just missing all the fun. You look lonely up there. Ah. Ma chuckled and stretched through the small opening between the front and back. She made a grab for Liz, who dodged and shrieked. Ma! I didn't want you to be left out, sweetheart. Liz crossed her arms and met her with an unimpressed stare. Lee was snickering. Liz ignored her and then reached out a hand to very deliberately pat you on the knee. There, jeez. I appreciate that. Ma let out a glowing smile and patted Liz's arm back. And now the hug truly was a whole family affair. There, exactly. Finally, you felt better, and you let them know you were ready to go back to the restaurant. You were released from the hug sandwich, and everyone piled out of the car. back towards the restaurant. The two Holdens stood together, very awkwardly. Cove looked particularly awkward as he fiddled with something in his hands. Lee whispered into your ear, Cove was out here the entire time. I think he didn't want to interrupt us, and now his dad came too?
How sweet.
Aren't they polite? They don't know what to do with themselves. It's not they're polite, they're awkward. Such gentlemen. True, but they better not have lost our table. Ma reached around to poke her in the side. Liz jumped even though you knew Ma's pokes were very mild.
Gosh.
Don't say that. Whether we have the table or not doesn't really matter. What matters is that we're all together and safe and happy. Here, here, Lonnie. Oh my god. Hold on. My nose is getting more and more stuffed the more I talk. I don't know how that has happening. A girl still gotta eat. Yes, thank you, Liz. You're the only one who understands me, my dear sister. Lee skipped up and hooked an arm around you. Your cousin offered you a beaming smile. We're not gonna know until we get there, so let's get going. Oh, I missed something. Oh no, I didn't. Misclick somehow. Yeah, after all that, I'm starving. Oh man, eating Chinese food when you're hungry is a trip. It goes down real easy. Your full group headed back to the restaurant. Luckily, your table was still reserved for you. You weren't exactly sure what Cove's dad had told the staff, but whatever his explanation had been, everything had worked out. You sat back down and were able to pick up the meal from when you left off, now with much lighter spirits. To be honest, every time I talk, the more my nose gets clogged. Yeah. I don't know what to do about it, honestly. Night fell soon after everyone finished their meals. And before you knew it, you were standing in the parking lot saying your goodbyes and packing up the cars to go home. After the last of the chores were done, your family spent some more time together. Okay, well, this is not at all what I expected to happen. I expected to have some good food and celebrate our stuff. And for some reason, I was upset at what Cove had said to me. Although it wasn't that upsetting. I mean, he's just asking questions. He always does that. He's always being unnecessary and asking questions and worrying about things. After the last of the chores were done, your family spent some more time together. The rest of the night felt like it was going by in a blink of an eye, and somehow the time came to retire to your room to sleep. And for some reason, Cove climbed to my window once again to apologize to me. You pulled your covers under your chin and settled down for the night, getting warm and cozy. I could use some warm and cozy bed. As your head sank into your pillow and you closed your eyes, your mind drifted back to everything that had happened that day. You could see it all now behind your eyelids as though you were experiencing it all over again. And then the image of Cove popped into your head and you smiled softly to yourself. You decided to send him a text. You decided to text him to come over. You want to sneak out to his room. That's a plot twist. You were feeling tired, so you snuggled deeper into your bed. I think I don't want to see Cove's dad or deal with him. I'll text him to come over. That's fun. Come back right now. I get my dog whistle out. Taking your phone from your bedside table, you lay on your back and held it above your face, typing a message out to Cove. You want to come over? You chewed on the end of your finger as you watched the screen, waiting for any sign that he was typing back. If you were being fair, it was a pretty odd time to have a meetup, but even so, you hoped he would. You know he would. Your heart leapt as your phone finally buzzed and you stared at his answer on your screen. Okay. A breath of laughter escaped as you messaged him back. He didn't even ask why. Yeah, that's true. You sent him a quick thanks back and put your phone away before sitting up in the bed, leaning back against your pillows and waiting for him to come over. I should apologize. I acted way too weird. The stillness of the night became very obvious to you, and you started to hear the soft noises your house has made when you were all asleep much more clearly. Each second seemed to drag on and on. You just wanted Cove to be here already. Finally, you heard those familiar sounds coming from outside, a sort of scratching and then shuffling. Next came a tap on the window. You hopped out of your seat with almost too much energy and rushed to let Cove in. Right through my window. When you arrived, you could see Cove was smiling in at you from the other side of the dark. You slid the window up and stepped back, giving him some space to climb through to get down the ledge. I'm gonna save here because I want to see what happens if I go to his place, but I like it when he comes over here. I think it's funny. He was in an amused mismatch of pajamas and sneakers, and Cove chuckled when he saw you looking at his ensemble. Once safely inside, he straightened up and dusted himself off before looking at you expectantly.
Hey.
What can I do for you? I can say sorry. I'll give him a hug. That's all. I just wanted to give you a hug, that's all. Don't think it's weird. Leaning forward, you wrapped your arms around Cove, feeling him freeze for a brief moment. When he realized and hugged you back softly, let out a small sigh.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter why, it's okay. You're right, it doesn't. You held him for a little while longer, letting his hug relax you until you pulled back and looked at him gently. The bed sank under Cove's weight as he sat down, his eyes firmly fixed on the ground. His hands shook where he held them in his lap. He was nervous. Nervous? Don't worry about it. You sat beside him contently, waiting for him to speak first. I'll stay as long as you want me to. Really? Let's play Monopoly. Yeah, really. You can go home soon. I just invited him to stay for like 2 seconds. You don't have to stay. How long do you want to stay? Can you stay the whole night? Bringing it back? That'll make him feel weird. I don't want to do that. How long do you want to stay? Ah, I went back. Too much. my hands just can't sit on the mouse. Well, to be honest, there aren't a lot of situations where leaving you is ever what I want to do. Oh, that's cute. I guess only when I annoy you and you need space. He chuckled softly, doubting that wouldn't happen anytime soon. Okay, you don't have to go anywhere. His face lit up as he settled in even more. It won't have been the first time I've slept in your room. You snickered, feeling pleased with your decision to do this. Well, looks like you might be getting the floor yet again. Okay, but there's no way I'm letting you take the floor this time. I don't like... Personally, I find it very rude to let the people sleep on the floor when they come over. I mean, I would prefer being smushed on a bed with a bunch of my siblings or cousins or whatever than having them sleep on the bed or vice versa. I hate that thought. It's so uncomfortable. I don't know why. No floor. Yeah, here we go again indeed, Cove. No floor. I refuse. You rolled your eyes and let out a soft laugh, which Cove returned as he rubbed the back of his neck. No, seriously. I'm serious. I've never slept on the floor, and I never will. Unless there's an air mattress. In that case, that counts. That counts as not sleeping on the floor. I wouldn't mind if you took the bed. I appreciate you taking the floor, Cove. No, I don't. Yeah, I'm not sleeping on the floor, and neither are you. It's fine. His eyebrows dipped. He was growing visibly nervous. It was to be expected, but you owe me for emotional trauma. Apparently, that I experienced. But after what happened last time, you've been waiting for another chance. You hoped he felt the same. And it seemed he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, this time we can share. For sure, for sure. You'll really stay? You won't leave to be on the floor? Truly? He nodded, holding back your delight. You tried not to grin at his sudden resolve. We're going to share the bed. Right. You could hear the tremble in Cove's voice as he held his hands together to keep them from shaking. He let out a breath and shook his hands in front of him, mentally preparing himself. It's gonna be alright. You're not gonna die, Cove. His mouth set in a grim line, and he balled his hands into fists at his side, determined. Yeah, you got this, buddy. You got it. It's not that serious. You felt nervous about it yourself. I'm not nervous. I feel great. You stayed calm. You're glad he was making the effort. Yeah, making the effort. It was an important step in your relationship, and he seemed to understand that. Is it? I'm too lax about these things, aren't I? It only took a couple of moments longer before he turned to you, attempting a weak smile. Ready? You're making it weirder than it has to be, Cove. I'm definitely ready. Let's get cozy. He took another deep breath and you slipped under the covers, making room for him to get in after you. There you go. Laying as straight as a steel rod, Cove stepped up beside you, so still, he was barely breathing at all. What the heck? He rested on your side and faced him. I want to draw this. Oh my god, I forgot to tell you guys. This is not the last we'll be talking about this game. Next stream is, in place of this game, we're going to do like a fan art draw stream for this game. And this is the funniest thing ever, so I might draw this scenario right now. Yeah, so next week on Thursday, we're going to do like a fan art stream for this game. It should be fun. You rested on your side and faced him, your eyebrows pinched in the middle as you watched him. He looked back at you deeply. Do you need more time? I can leave until you're more set up here. Oh, no, please, don't go. I just want you to stay with me. Ever so slowly, he began to relax, his fingers tentatively brushing up and down your arm. Ah! Why is he doing that? He's going to sleep. His eyes shut, lashes fanning out over the top of his cheeks, and you still half expected him to run away like last time. But he didn't. He stayed right where he was. That's right. You don't have to worry about me. Doing stuff like this isn't a problem. It's a process. You nodded in understanding, even though he couldn't see it, giving him time to let his nerves settle. After fluffing up your pillow and getting yourself comfy, you stayed quiet. Eventually, his shoulders became less rigid. When his eyes opened, he smiled and turned his head towards you. Thank you for waiting again, as always. He laughed shyly, his soft eyes meeting yours through the dim light. Are you okay? Me? Oh yeah, I'm fine. I am now that you are. I'll always wait for you, Cove. It took you long enough, but it's fine now. I am now that you are. Sounds pretty good. He let out a deep breath, relief written on his face. Yeah, I am. Nice. He shuffled closer, an inch at a time, before nuzzling into your neck and wrapping his arms around your side. Oh, you know what this is? This is definitely only child syndrome. Only childs have a whole different mentality, I'm telling you. You can tell one from a mile away. You let him hold you. You stay like that. You grasp his shirt. You wrap your arms around him. Oh, these are all cute options. I mean, not this one. But, okay, I'll allow it. He's safely in... The safety and warmth of his arms enveloped you, and you exhaled a contented sigh of your own. The room grew quiet around you. The only sound to be heard were the faraway crash of the ocean waves and your breath wiggling in the small space between you. Cove's heart was pounding. The thump of it rumbled through you as he spoke again softly. Oh, geez, Cove. Way to make it weird. You know, I'm not scared of you, right? It's just so many other things that scare me. Like what? I'm afraid of what if hypotheticals that aren't actually real, but I think about anyway, and of the nebulous concept of what things mean that I can barely explain even to myself. I also watch SCP content, Cove, I understand. I'm scared of my own feelings and how much I feel them. And I'm afraid because tomorrow things will be different between us, but I'll be alone again. Oh. He held onto you tighter, his breath stuttering ever so slightly. It's normal right now to see you during the day and part ways at night, except for special exceptions. A little laugh escaped him before his tone became serious once more. It's easier to stay where I am than it is to make myself move, to not take a risk, and to not know what I might be missing, but... He hesitated, and you reached up to brush a few strands of hair from his face gently, his eyes slowly fixing on yours. When did doing the easy thing get so hard? When it comes to you, I don't know how to stay still. Oh, when it comes to you, I don't know how to stay still. I want to keep taking steps forward. Honestly, when I see your face or even imagine it, I want to start sprinting, like a big puppy. But when I try, I hit a wall. It's just I physically can't do it on one side of my mind. There's something blocking me. And on the other side, I absolutely can't stop myself from doing it. It never ends well.
Always like this.
I hate it. It's the most frustrating thing. Why do I do it every time? I'm annoyed with the way I am, so I have no idea how you stand it. Oh, I'm used to it. I'm sorry I act so split when it comes to romantic things. I do not want you to think you're rushing me when I know I'm giving mixed signals. Oh, oh man, no, me and you are definitely the same in that aspect, I think. I have no idea what's going on half the time. And I don't want to miss out on being happy and being like this, but sometimes I still can't help it. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I'm glad you've never given up on me. It means a lot. It means everything to me. Oh, that's so cute. I'm sorry. That was cute. You don't give up on me either. You've been there whenever I really needed it. It's who you are, and I accept that. We smile in understanding. Yeah, you've definitely been there through thick and thin. So it's only... That's who you are, I accept you. Good boy. Good doggy. Oh no, is he crying again? His eyes glossed over a little as he squeezed you closer to him and smiled. His heart rate finally relaxed to a normal rhythm.
Good night.
Good night, Cove. Yeah. I wonder if this is almost over. They have a way of making it longer than I expect. He leaned forward and kissed you tenderly. He did? His hand gently moving to cradle the back of your neck. He is?
I love
Ah! Wow, that's so crazy. That's nice, Cove. The word Donnie says the most in this game is puppy. Run away like a puppy. Puppy. Yeah, puppy. He's a little puppy. I love puppies. Puppies are great. So. Wow. Anyway. I'll just look away from the screen for just a second. What? Oh, he said that so easily. What's his problem? Is he trying to kill me? Your heart skipped a beat as Cove stared at you, his confused expression a perfect mirror of your own. We have different boundaries, don't we? Like, we're just two different people. And then, as if the gears had slowly turned and clicked into place in his head, his eyes widened. Oh. Oh, you didn't even notice what you said? Baka! Idiot! Idiot dog boy! His mouth opened as wide as he sucked in a huge breath, barely even moving a muscle. You should feel bad about yourself. No! The game is doing it to me again. I can't play anymore. I'm gonna go back to where I was in the beginning of this, where I don't want to play anymore. You what? He said nothing, continuing to inhale as though he sucked them back in, completely horrified with having blurted out those words. I'm glad he's embarrassed. You should be. You should be embarrassed. Then he slowly covered his mouth with his hands, holding the air in. You waited for him to say something, anything, but he only stared at you with a trembling gaze. He shut his eyes tight and mumbled something, but you couldn't hear it with his mouth covered. It's okay, Cove. I forgive you for what you said to me. His eyes burst open once more in a panic. He finally pulled his hands away from his mouth. Is it? Those feelings were held deeply in him, and he had to let them get through the. Oh my god, okay. And have to let them get through when he hadn't meant to was immensely distressing. You knew Cove, and you're positive he was worried that it was going to ruin things between the two of you, but he didn't need to be. That's the whole point of the game, Cove. You didn't need to be worried. Yeah, it's fine. You gave him a soft smile and nodded at him in encouragement. He looked at you profoundly before speaking in a small voice. Oh my god. I'm in love with you. That's not too much? Oh my god, it is too much, actually. You locked eyes with him, feeling as though you could almost burst with happiness. In your heart, you knew exactly what you wanted to say. Take it back. Take it back. I'm my character. I'm my character. I'm my character. I also enjoy your presence. Yeah. Do you really need to ask? I'm gonna blurt it out. It's gonna be like, yes. You smiled at him, feeling the truth of those words surge through you. A relieved sob escaped Cove. Don't cry again, Cove! My god! Who tucked his head down and clutched the front of your shirt. You held him close to you as he spoke between gasping breaths. I'm gonna save this. Don't ask me why. I like looking through scenarios. Thank God, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad that ordeal is over. I'm so happy you said something. I had a feeling it would go like this. You don't have to thank me for anything. Yeah, don't thank me. You're welcome, but don't thank me. I'm grateful to you, Cove. Oh, you wiped his tears. I'm gonna wipe his stupid tears. Stop crying right now. You gently tilted his face towards yours. You wiped the tears from his cheeks and returned his watery smile. Cove's eyes widened on you, brimming with fresh tears as his expression turned serious. He's still crying. I felt like I'd never be able to make myself say it. He laughed, and the tears felt even stronger as he shook from it. I can't believe I did it by accident. I guess it's better that you did it by accident. More heartfelt that way. He covered his eyes with one hand. If you hadn't felt the same way, I don't know. I can't bring myself to imagine it. And I don't have to because you do. You do love me. So listen. He whispered the words to himself softly as he hardly dared to believe them at all. Then he closed his eyes, his hands still shaking as they moved to take yours. You're lucky Jan is not in the chat. She'd be roasting you right now, dude.
I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. I really am like this. I really am always like this. So. You leaned in to kiss him. I did not do that. Absolutely did not do that. You held him tight. You gave him a moment to himself. Himself? No. He leaned into your touch, clutching you tight, as though all he wanted was to hold on to the moment. To you. To me! You brushed your fingers up and down his arm gently. Why did I do that? Feeling the tiny goosebumps that spread across his skin. Yes, that's me. You couldn't help thinking about how happy you were with him, how you were certain to you wanted to spend your life with him, how you were certain you wanted to spend your life with him, and you told him as much. Oh well, I do. It sounds like fun. I mean, should I say that? That sounds a little forward. I'm not getting the wedding DLC. So I was happy. You adored it. Every day, every minute with Cove was something special. You were so glad to be together. Curling himself up, he nestled in close to you, letting you wrap your arms around him and hold him tight. You were still smiling as you snuggled into him, getting as close as you could. Cocooned in his warmth, you easily grew comfortable next to him, feeling him ease into you as well. Before long, your eyes were growing heavy, and you drifted off in a restful sleep side by side. Man, a game that goes on forever and never ends. The next morning, you were lost in a comfortable dream. This reminds me of my comic. In my comic, I just go on and on, and the comic never ends. It's the next day, it's the next moment, it's the next day, it's the next moment. We're the same writers. The sound of something softly calling your name drifted over, and when your eyes opened, Cove was smiling at you. Shuffling onto your side, you grinned at him beside you as you remembered the night before. His arms were still draped around you loosely, and it felt good that he had never let you go. Lock the door. Lock the door. It's morning now. You gently stroked his cheek. You ran your hand through his hair. I like his hair. I'm gonna touch his hair. Is that okay with him? The familiar scent of his shampoo drifted toward you as you gently reached over and raked his soft strands through his hair. It looks so soft. Good morning. How long have you been up? What have you been doing? He shyly kept quiet. I'm gonna be a little coy, a little meek today. Ohio? You snuggled against him and smiled softly, making the most of your time together while he nuzzled your hair with his cheek. His breath rested on your skin as he sighed happily, and you tightened your arms around him. Cove? What am I about to say? Don't say anything cringe, right? Don't say it. When you tilted your head to meet his eyes, he grinned at you and gently brushed the tip of his nose against yours. I guess we should get up. He sounded reluctant, and if you were being honest with yourself, you were too. It would have been nice to have more time together, just relaxing and hanging out. Yeah, five more minutes. 5 more minutes. Cove smirked and gave you an affectionate look. We have to. My mom's coming today, remember? I have to start getting ready. You grumbled in reply, but relented. Nonetheless, Cove shook his head at you with a small smile. You both pulled yourselves up and started shuffling around the room. Cove stretched his long limbs out and yawned, before ruffling his fingers through his green hair. Are we gonna talk to his mom again? You watched him fondly until your eyes met, and he looked away quickly, hiding a blush. Nerd. So that was fun. I can't believe I slept here the whole night. Yeah, me either, but I'm glad you did. Fun times, fun times. Let's all forget what happened last night if we could. Yeah, I bet. With a last shared smile, the two of you headed out of your room and down the stairs, laughing and chatting casually about your plans for the day. It was like he had lived there the whole time, or as if waking up together were a regular occurrence. Cove snuck his hand into yours, giving a soft squeeze and making you feel all warm. As you hit the foot of the stairs, you froze, finding 4 different pairs of eyes staring over at you two in various states of amusement and shock. Are you kidding me? Did you forget to leave out the window, sir? That was oops. Yeah, they're all completely dressed at 5 a.m. It took a moment for anyone to speak, but soon enough a chorus of greetings drifted over. You scanned the place to find your moms, Liz and Lee, all together around the kitchen and living room. Hi, I mean, good morning. I got here earlier. Oh yeah, I bet you did. Liz snorted with an undisguised laughter, making Lee giggle along with her. I've been out here for quite a while now and never saw you come through. A blush spread across Cove's cheeks, the pink tinge settling on the tip of his nose. You're also still in your pajamas. You don't usually walk around town during the day in those, do you? Mom let out a little laugh of her own and you gave her a look, to which she responded by clamping her mouth shut. Cove looked down at his outfit and his shoulders slipped in defeat as he hung his head to hide his very red face. You know, I always guessed you had been sneaking in, Cove, but could never quite prove it. Mom nodded in agreement, nudging Ma's shoulder playfully as she headed over to stand beside her. That's something I wouldn't have bet against. Liz tutted at the two of them and shook her head. You've definitely gotten too comfortable with their sneaky revelry.
Very nice.
You still did good. You never got caught until you turned 18. Congratulations. Lee smiled from where she sat in the kitchen table, waving a dismissive hand in the air. Surely you can't be punished too hard for it now. I'm not so sure about that. Donnie still lives at home, and I very much doubt that this is the first time they let Cove in like this. 18 years of punishment I bestow upon you. Ma crossed her arms over her chest, giving you both you and Cove a serious look. We may have a retroactive punishment for all that. I'm sorry, it's not Donnie's fault. Yeah, it's not my fault. Yes. Yes. It was my fault, not Cove's. We're both innocent. Yeah, we did it, and we do it again. Yeah. You crossed your arms, remaining unrepentant. Cove sucked a deep breath from beside you. At that moment, your moms burst out laughing, receiving amused looks from Liz and Lee, while you and Cove simply stood there dumbstruck. We're merciful, don't worry. That's true. You did indeed get away with it, and we're not gonna make make the little bit of summer you have left miserable over bedtime rule breaking now. Yeah! I got away with it! Reward me for it! Besides, you're in good company. We're almost certain Lizzie spent many nights sneaking the old home phone into your room and staying up until dawn. At least you were in your old rooms. Excuse me, that's conjecture. They exchanged smiles before Ma returned to you again with a firmer expression. They were in their rooms, but I do worry about you coping it that way. Cove, it's dangerous. We know. I know. Especially because he's likely quite distracted and excited by thoughts of reuniting with Donnie while climbing around in the dark. That's so true, Mom. You know what? That's so true. Mom joked, and they all burst out laughing once more, keeping Cove fully embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. You should have left through the window. We could have kept the secret a little bit longer. Cove leaned in closer to you and whispered quietly, a look of guilt settling over his features. I'm sorry, Donnie. Oh, forget it. My family are the ones going at it. Yeah, don't worry about it. You owe me a soda. A knock at the front door caught your attention, and you followed several steps behind Mom as she went to answer it. Is it Cove's mom? Ah, oh wow, how beautiful and majestic is she, huh? Mr. Holden and Kiara were standing together. Oh, but I noticed that Mr. Holden is not in this picture. That was for me. That was for me personally. He's off in the corner there, not next to Kiara physically. For me. Morning.
Hello.
Hi there. Surprised at the sight, Ma paused at a moment, and then she pulled Kiara into a hug. Meanwhile, Cove went through a process. Shock and excitement over her arrival rolled into awkward realization that he had missed her showing up at the house by being at yours. It's been too long. I know, time's been flying. Kiara's gaze slid over to you and then to Cove. Her eyes sparkled with mischief, and her mouth curled into a smirk. And it's so good to see my son, finally. Hello to you, Donnie. Continuing on this ride of emotions, Cove's face slowly reddened. He couldn't quite meet anyone's eye, so he kept looking at his own feet. Poor Cove, bro. Sorry, Mom. I'm sorry. It's not like anyone's surprised. I'm sorry too. I'm not sorry. Forget you guys. Hi. You don't have to make such little comments about it. You didn't say anything. Hi. Smiling nervously, you raised a hand to offer her a small wave. Kiara chuckled, thoroughly amused by your reaction. It's okay. Kiara gave his back a few reassuring pats. But Cove's face seemed to get even redder. She grinned. My not-so-little mister is spreading his wings. I can't complain about that. Mom immediately brought a hand to her face to hide her mouth, but a giggle still escaped. The people looked at her confused, and she laughed again louder. It's just a real fitting phrase considering Cove's current attire. She pointed at the feathery wing like the cowl around the collar of Cove's pajama shirt. Ah, you got him again, Ma. You're so funny. Oh! Everyone turned their attention to Cove. He even looked down at his own clothes over the realization. That's so true, bestie. I didn't even notice. All the parents burst into continued laughter. Cove was clearly not as amused. You flashed him a smile and he visibly perked up. It's really nice to be back. Enough of standing around out there. Come on in. Am I doing voices anymore? I can't tell. Mom moved aside to usher the group in and guided them to the living room. Before anyone could settle in, Mom spoke up. You're all welcome to stay for breakfast. We still have to get some great spices and stuff from the farmer's market. Yes, we'd be thrilled to host you. There were eager nods from Mr. Holden and Kiara, but Cove looked around the room, filling with familiar faces, before speaking up. Maybe instead of staying here, why don't we go to the beach? Great idea, Cove. A scenic picnic, eh? Mr. Holden crossed his arms and contemplated that idea happily. Excited, Kiara clapped her hands together. Oh, we could really make a day of it. Might as well enjoy the ocean while we can. That sounds lovely, Cove. Everyone else put in their own agreement with Cove's suggestion. Before long, both families dispersed, getting everything ready. I still haven't seen the moms in swimsuits. I'm probably gonna draw that next stream. Sandwiches had to be made, water, sunscreen, towels, and more needed to be gathered and packed. Plus, you and Cove both took some time to get dressed for that day. An hour later, both your family and Cove were walking down the old path to the beach. The morning was already turning into a bright and beautiful day. You honestly couldn't ask for better weather for a beach trip. My tongue was tied. The moment you laid your eyes on the full view of the ocean, you stopped and stood there, mesmerized. It didn't matter that you grew up there, the sight always filled you with wonder. Oh, hey Donnie. Yeah, what's up? I was thinking about calling Terry and Miranda, see if they can come too. Everyone else is pretty much already here, so would your family mind? Oh wow, you had a good idea. He chuckled, his mouth pulled into a big smile. It had to happen. It had to happen sometime. Yeah, that had you laughing this time. You were already eager you're already eager for your friends to join you there. Hey Mom, Ma! They both stopped what they were doing and turned towards you. Immediately, you darted over to them. Hey, I got it. Oh, wow. I love seeing the three of them together. I really do. How young is Cove's mom anyway? He didn't get quite the same change as my mom's did. I have a question. Would it be alright if Terry and Miranda came by? I don't see why not. It's a public beach, Donnie. Mom looked to Mom to see what she thought, and she nodded in agreement. Mom then shot a glance over at Mr. Holden and Kiara, knowing that they had likely heard everything. Cliff, Kara, what do you two think? The more the merrier.
Okay.
Of course, they're welcome with me. Okay, that's nice, Mr. Holden. Thanks. Thank you. Delighted, you nodded and turned on your heels. Cove was still several feet away and talking to Lee and Liz, likely about the same topic. With a beaming smile, he gave him a thumbs up, and the two of them must have also approved, as Cove quickly got his phone out and started making the calls. At that, you turned your attention to helping the picnic set up. You hurried over to your mom's and helped put the rest of the food out. In moments, you noticed Cove at your side. So, what's the verdict on those invitations? They're gonna come. Of course they are. Excited, you raised your free hand for a high five. Cove laughed and slapped your hand. If anybody goes for a high five from me, I give him the old snail. I just put my fist in their hand.
Yeah.
They'll meet us here later. Shouldn't be too long. I can wait. While on the topic of inviting people to join, you realized there was someone else you could call as well. you had gotten Baxter's number earlier that summer. Beach episode. Every episode is a beach episode in this game. You messaged him to come to... Okay, should I call Baxter? We became friends at some point, right? But we don't know each other that well, but maybe in the DLC we learned to come, like, get together or something. I'm gonna message him because I like him. I don't know. I don't know why this is the big decision for me. I'm gonna call him. Everyone else is gonna be there. You didn't want him to feel left out. You sent him a text and hoped he'd show. After that, you made sure to mention what you'd done. No one seemed to mind. Okay, great. We're all cool, Baxter. Once the setup was done, everyone got comfortable and dug into the food. I thought I was gonna say they dug into the ground. I don't know why they would start digging. You couldn't remember the last time breakfast tasted this good, but you attributed it to the gorgeous ocean view and soothing sea breeze. Morning swiftly gave way to afternoon, and a very recognizable face came walking down the shore. It was Baxter! He came! Oh my god, I love Baxter. I haven't seen him since the last time I saw him. And he pleasantly approached with a wave.
Hello.
Oh, there he is! There's my boy! Oh my god, it's Baxter. I'm sorry. I miss this guy. I'm glad he's in the finale. Good stuff. Hello there. I appreciate the invite to the party. Of course, you're welcome with us. We brought plenty of towels and food and sunscreen. Yeah, you're one of the neighbors. Kick back and relax with us.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, he is one of the neighbors. I haven't seen him the entire summer though. Baxter's gaze moved over to you and Cove. He smiled. Donnie, Cove, long time no see. Hi! You waved from where you are usually sat, and Cove nodded. Where's Miranda and the other girl? I'm glad you decided to come. So am I. It was then that Baxter noticed the faces he didn't immediately recognize from around the neighborhood. You should have brought some beach gear or something. You know, we're at the beach, right? He turned up his charm even more for the introductions. Excuse me, I'm Baxter Ward. I'm sorry, we haven't met before. Well, we're not typically from around this area, just visiting. I'm Cove's mom. I haven't seen a sprite of older Lee at all, guys. She's so cute. A few giggles escaped Lee as she watched Baxter carefully. With his attention turned to her now, she held out a hand. Hi, I'm Lee, Donnie and Liz's cousin. Wow, look at her face. They both have the same face, in my opinion. The same expression. Baxter shook it and took a step back. Lee's smile grew. I'll remember that. Very nice to meet you both. Oh man, getting chummed with the ladies. That's Baxter. Good on him. Good man. Okay. After that, Baxter spent some time getting better acquainted with everyone. And Terry and Miranda arrived excitedly. The conversation shifted to what you all would do next.
In that case,
Are we gonna volleyball? Is this actually the beach episode? We're always here, we never do anything. We could do a few rounds of volleyball. There's plenty of us now.
is that all right?
Could I play? Ulu. Like, I imagine her like putting her index fingers together. Like, could I play? Like, that's Miranda's energy. Of course. Miranda brightened, delighted with the plan. Ma looked around to see if there were any other takers. I don't feel like playing. I'd have to change, but it'd be fun to watch. Oh man. I could be the ref. My eyes don't miss a thing. Alright, whatever. I'm in. Good. Cove's great. Good job. Excellent. We almost have enough for 2-on-2 teams. Well, volleyball's a good idea, but there should probably be something happening for those who aren't a fan. Oh, I have some crafting supplies. We could make jewelry. We could even use stuff we find around the beach to accentuate them.
Really?
What? Really? I want to make a necklace.
That'd be great.
I'd be interested in trying a hand at that too. Okay, so they're making necklaces and I have to play volleyball? Why can't I make a necklace? I don't want to play volleyball. Impromptu crafting is kind of my party. I'd like to join too, please. Why is everyone else doing the fun stuff? I want to craft. Oh wait, I can choose. Oh, but Cove is playing volleyball, and oh man, I'm just gonna save it. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Hike you go. You looked at Ma, ready to jump into a competitive mode. I want to see how to describe volleyball. She looked thrilled to have you on board. Now that plans were settled, the group is temporarily split into two.
Anyway.
Oh god, here he is. All right, sports stars, you're gonna have to pick partners and then it's game on. Oh god, I hate that man. Hey, Mr. Holden left the rest of you to deliberate and turned his attention to drawing a makeshift court in the sand. Well? She walked over to you and hooked her arm around yours. You laughed. Yay! I want to be on Donnie's team. Yay! I'm gonna pair up with Mom and destroy Cove with my bare hands. Alright, I'll be Ma and me. You wanted to have fun with your Ma. Cove put on his game face, not intending to go easy on you now that you were on the opposite sides. You better not. When Mr. Holden finished drawing the court, he went in to fetch the volleyball from various other supplies you'd all brought there. We're so prepared. Sounds like we all have our team set, right?
Yes.
Good. Now get up to your sides. The four of you situated yourselves on one side or the other of the court with your partner, Mr. Holden. Toss the ball to Ma. Who's on Cove's team again? Let me think. Oh, Miranda. Miranda's on Cove's team.
Do you mind?
Since this was all Noelani's idea, every time they say their names, I'm caught off guard. Who are these people? Since this was all Noelani's idea, I think it's fair she gets to serve first. Thank you, Cliff. Simp.
Yeah.
Woo, Ma, show him who's boss. Go, Dottie, make them eat sand. Yeah. You kicked a small heap of sand out of your way on the simple court, making her laugh. You turned back towards Ma. Don't hold back. Good luck, Ma. Yeah, don't hold back, Ma. Destroy them. I wouldn't think of it. That's my Ma. With that, Ma got into position and delivered a practical first serve. The game began. In the battle over the volleyball, both teams scored points. There wasn't a set amount to reach to the end of things, so it went back and forth for as long as everyone wanted to play. And the game went for quite a while as everyone got into it, especially with the cheers and added commentary. Liz and Mr. Holden made the whole game better with their humor and wit. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything. From a distance, the jewelry making group would also cheer with the when they heard shouts coming out of the court. On top of that, they would hold up each newly made piece in the air. The players would take a breather to applaud their creation. I wish people did that for me. When I picked what, like if I like drew something and I just held it up and people started applauding. I would like that. It wasn't until all of you were exhausted from the running, spiking, and diving that a truce was called. You enjoyed every moment of it. I don't mind volleyball. It's one of those sports that are not as hard to play as other things. The afternoon continued to drift by, but the sun was still going strong. Occasionally, someone would head back to the house to use the restroom, or rest away from the sun a while, or retrieve something that they needed. But they always came back. They were never lost. The beach was never empty, and there was always a new conversation to take part in or another game to join. At one point, Mr. Holden even broke out his pack of cards. Uh-oh. He roped the whole group into a few rounds of old goldfish, and then the wind blew so strong that it blew all his stupid cards away. There was only one thing that could bring this beach day to an end, and that was for the day itself to end. Before anyone realized it, the sun began to set over the sea. As that happened, you were taking a break, sitting on a towel with your legs stretched out past it, and your feet buried in the warm sand. Warm sand. Shortly, you looked up to see your moms approaching. A JoJo style. They stopped in front of you and smiled. Hey there, kiddo. How are you doing? I'm doing great. Today's been amazing. I had a good time playing volleyball with all my friends. They both sat down, squishing you in between them. Mom leaned her head against yours, and Mom started rubbing your back soothingly. This is all giving me ideas for drawings. Now that I have the stream in my mind, I can't wait to draw all this. Nothing more was said at first, but Ma sighed contently. Mom looked at you wistfully. We're both really proud of you, Donnie. You grew up to be more than we could ever hope for. Aw, thanks. I can take my award now. It's only thanks to the two of you. Thank you, ... I don't know what to say to that. It's only thanks to you guys? Yeah, well. You were touched by their words, and your voice came out as a whisper. Mom chuckled and lightly brushed a bit of your hair. That's not something you need to thank— oh yeah, that's Mom. That's not something you need to thank us for. But still, I wouldn't be here without either of you. Ma wrapped an arm around your middle and squeezed you tightly in a side hug. Glancing at Ma, you saw how teary-eyed she becomes. She sniffled. When people talk to their family like this, I'm missing out. I do not talk to my family like this. It's awkward. You stayed there quietly and contently, watching the sunset with your parents for a while. Until Mr. Holden called out to you. He was still walking in your direction. Walk back. We were talking and think we're gonna take a walk down to the shore, and if you want to come. Automatically, you looked to your moms for what they were thinking. Mom glanced from you to Ma and smiled. That sounds good to me.
That's fantastic.
Yes, that'd be very nice. My legs need some stretching. That's a yes across the board. Thrilled, Mr. Holden threw out a thumbs up and began heading back to the back the way he came in a light jog. Hey, don't leave us in the dust. Cliff kept going forward but flipped around, walking backwards across the sand so he could face you again. Old man, you better stop or you're gonna fall down and break your back.
No worries.
Don't worry, we wouldn't leave without you. Alright, we'll catch up. Ready to go? Yeah, I'm ready to go. God, I'm tired now. The day's ending and I'm tired. I could sleep. Both of your moms held a hand out to you. Chuckling, you gave them each you gave them each one and you strolled back to the rest of the group. I gave them each a hand. I was okay. When Liz was in reach, Ma used her free hand to pull her into it too. Liz shook her head, but her mouth quirked into a smirk, and she didn't resist. Together as a family, you followed behind the others hand in hand. This is like, what does this remind me of? This is so wholesome. Your feet squished into the wet sand as the waves rolled over them, and you didn't have a single care in the world as more and more stars began to dot the sky. This is a Disney Channel movie end right now. Once the sun had been long out of sight, it was finally time to pack up. The closing of the day had the ever-approaching end of the summer seemed intertwined. Okay. It caused a quiet, reflective mood to blanket over the group. On the beach, Terry and Miranda looked toward the compressing Cove in a hug before moving to do the same to you. You chuckled, still overjoyed that you got to see them today. I'm sorry, we have to go already. My parents are here. That's okay. But still, I wish we could help clear this all up. Don't worry about it. Just thanks for coming out today. It was cool having everyone here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm super glad we came. Hopefully we can do it again sometime. Nodding, you turned your attention to Terry. She wore a large grin on her face and held out hand for a low five. You obliged. I gave her some cash as well. Take care of yourselves, buddies. Bye bye. Johnny. After that, they walked away, waving to you and Cove as they went down the shore. Cove waved quietly back with a smile on his face. I'm gonna say bye-bye. You cupped your hands around your mouth to project the word louder. They both waved faster. Bye! Have a good night! And taking you by surprise, Harry jumped and twisted around. She kept up with Miranda by walking backwards. She kept the mood of your farewell light by shooting finger guns at you and Cove. Miranda bumped her with her hip. I want to be bumped by Miranda. I left everyone to laugh just before it disappeared down the bend. Donnie?
Come on.
Hey, Cove, could you come over here? Both of your parents were motioning for you. The two of you went to them. Tons of things ended up at the beach over the course of the day, so there was still so much to pack up and the parents needed help. With a nod, you got to it, stuffing various things into bags and bundling them up in towels. Once things were ready to go, everyone filled their arms with as much as they could carry. Absolutely no one wanted this to be a back and forth kind of task. Understandable. The walk back home ended up being mostly quiet. Each person seemed to be feeling the effects of the day. A cool breeze carried you across the sand and onto the road. Oh yeah, Baxter's here. There was a sigh of relief from what felt like a group as a whole when they arrived back to the neighborhood. Baxter carefully placed what he had been carrying on the ground. Thank you so much for helping with that. No, thank you for allowing me to join today. You all shared with me. Helping to carry it back is the least I can do. Yeah, what a great guy. Mon nodded and the others started collecting their things from his pile. Baxter, meanwhile, stepped over to you and Cove. Man, his silhouette is so good. It was a pleasure getting to know you both this summer. His head tilted towards you and he smiled warmly. Baxter offered you his hand. Am I supposed to kiss it or something, princess? What's happening? You used your freer hand to shake his. You waved goodbye instead. You patted his shoulder. You side-hugged him. I don't know him that well, but no. You raised your hand for a high five. I'm gonna shake his hand. Yeah, you missed a bunch, Sophie. No. It was tough with what you were carrying, but you were able to extend one of your hands a bit. Baxter chuckled and shook it. I think we did end up as good friends. I really enjoyed meeting you. Good luck on your semester at school. You didn't say a thing. I enjoyed meeting you. I haven't known you that long, honestly. I'm delighted to hear that. I enjoyed this vacation immensely thanks to you. Cove. Like, okay, dude, you can go now. Baxter turned to shake Cove's hand this time. He was a little incredulous for a moment. But, but then Cove eventually shifted what he was carrying and took Baxter's hand. It wasn't long, but it was a solid handshake. Baxter was clearly pleased. I wish we had more time together, but it was still a nice ride. While it lasted, would happily do it all over again. Bye, Baxter. Bye-bye. Yeah, bye. Bye, Jude. Baxter nodded and walked a few steps towards his condo. Then he stopped and waved. Yeah, bye, Baxter. Take a bow. Baxter sauntered away completely and disappeared inside the condo to return to his own things, his time with you and your family and friends ending. He paused for a moment, staring at where he went. But afterwards, he looked back over to the rest of the group. Lee and Liz were just going inside your house. Couldn't spot Kiara or Mr. Holden anywhere, but the door to their house was wide open. Mom approached you with an amused look on her face. Seems like you're holding some of... you're holding up some of Holden things. I get it, Mom. I get it. Surprised, you glanced down to take a quick inventory of what you were holding. Mom was right. Some of it belongs to the neighbors. Would you mind dropping it off now? Looking down again at everything you're carrying, you sighed. A teasing grin played at your lips. The Holdens is a long walk from here. Cove snorted and laughed next to you, making your grin widen. Mom chuckled and shook her head. You can hack it, and then you'll get to experience the joy of a job well done. You laughed happily and nodded. Mom smiled fondly. Cove took a few steps towards his house and stopped, waiting for you. Good night, Cove. I'll see you inside, Donnie. Night. Bye-bye. Oh, this is Cove's house. You caught up to Cove, and together you went over to his house. Walking in the front door, you saw Kiara and Mr. Holden busily unpacking everything. Things were scattered on the counters, and they were moving around each other, putting the items away. They both lifted their heads when Cove closed the front door. Hey. It's nice to see you already, Donnie. I know, I'm pretty great. Her teasing tone brought a light smile to your face. You hefted the stuff in your arms a little closer. Ended up with the things from the beach that are yours. Oh, thanks for getting that to us. You can put them here on the coffee table, yeah. Okay. Mr. Holden pointed at the surface that he was referring to, and you immediately left what didn't belong to your family there. Cole put his own things down on the floor, just at his feet, wadding through everything strewn about to reach his parents. Putting your family's stuff on the ground for a moment, you dusted your hands off and straightened up. You need a second to rest and a minute to restitute it all. You went over to where the others were. Kara opened her arms wide, wanting to hug you. Yeah, I'll take a hug. I don't know. Go ahead. Without any hesitation, you went to Kiara and let her pull you into a hug. You squeezed her back just as tight. Yeah, I am enjoying this. Her hug was filled with affection, and you hoped that she would feel how much you cared about her too. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. It was a blast. You're welcome. Today was amazing. Kiara eventually released you, but patted the tops of your shoulders as a final gesture. Every time I've gotten to come by, it's been an absolute joy. Things really couldn't have worked out better. Mr. Holden took a step closer to you. Step back, sir. Kiara moved aside to let him say goodbye too. He grinned. Thanks for always being such a friendly neighbor. And not just right now, but for as long as I've known you. I didn't always make it easy, but you and your family are good people. Okay. I really, truly appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
That's nice. Thanks again, Donnie, so much. Alright, bye. Goodbye, Mr. Holden. Mr. Holden was staring at you, but his gaze seemed far away. But he was looking back at who he used to be, the 8-year-old he had asked to be his son's new friend. Shut your mouth. I swear if he says anything, I will destroy him. I'm up to here. I'm up to here with you. Bye. He smiled softly. Uh-huh. I can't stand him, so I'm sorry. Just like I can't stop announcing my love for Cove's mom, I can't stop announcing my hate for Cove's dad. I'm a simple person. Then Cove took a step forward. He gestured to the pile of things he had carried into the house.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about all that. I'll put stuff away in a few minutes. Right, I need to go to do the same with my family. I figured. Cove walked you to the door and held it open, taking one last check around to make sure you had all your things to bring home. He went into the road. Knowing myself, I would have forgotten something anyway. He leaned his body against the door frame, not allowing you out. Let me out! So, this is it, huh? Actually, that's not what I mean. His expression twisted and he shook his head a bit, like he was trying to banish the pensive thoughts. I'll just say bye. Yeah, bye. It won't be long before you see me again. Nerd. You offered him a small wave goodbye with one of your hands. Cove reached forward and gently cupped your face with one hand, and thumb trailed across your cheek for several heartbeats. That's all, isn't it? Mesmerized by his blue eyes, you stepped forward, delighted to oblige the request he was silently asking. He met you halfway as you smiled into the kiss. It was soft with longing, and your chest ached knowing that there couldn't be anything more than this, at least for now. God, they're trying to kill me. They're trying to murder me. One of his hands grabbed onto the door handle and firmly held it. He was stopping himself from coming along with you. Okay. As you walked over to your own front door, you stopped. Turning around, you spotted Cove right where you left him. You laughed quietly to yourself. For a small pause, you both stared at each other from across the street. They're so lovey-dovey, bro. Oh, I'll blow him a kiss. Wow. Whew. Cove reached out like he was catching it off to the side and then curled his fist into his chest, holding the kiss close. It was curled into a beaming smile. Yeah, that's my boy. That's right. I hope you'll treasure that. Maybe. Things couldn't be dragged out any longer. After one more shared smile, he opened the door and went inside, shutting it behind you. I like the idea of blowing kisses. I think it's much better than what we've been doing. A few steps in and you saw your family gathered in the living room. They were still busy unpacking and cleaning. You added the things you brought to the pile on the kitchen counter. Mom stood up, rubbing her eyes a bit. She yawned loudly. Mom, I said the name with... Okay, I'm tired. I'm bushed. How about we finish the rest of the chores tomorrow? Yeah, honestly, it's too late for this. Please and thank you. Ma put her hands on her hips as she turned to access the room. Ma was not one who liked to leave a mess about, but she sighed. I suppose we can make an exception to the usual rule. It has been a really long day. Liz grinned contentedly. Lee wasted no time in skipping over to you and hooked you into a side hug. Good night! I hope you have the loveliest of dreams of you-know-who! Lee ended that sentence with a wink, with a hearty laugh. She let you go. I love this girl. She's great. Oh, she's cute. I'm gonna laugh. Love her. Her comment was pretty much exactly what you were expecting out of her, and for several moments you couldn't stop laughing. Lee giggled, happy that you were also enjoying her teasing. She playfully nudged you with her elbow, the grin on her face widening. Don't worry, your private thoughts are safe with me. Here's to us, Donnie, tomorrow and forever. You smirked at that. Yeah, family forever. Yeah! Lee leaned in close to whisper in your ear. You didn't fail to catch the teasing look on her face. Exactly, there's no escape. And that caught a laugh out of you. You lightly pushed her shoulder. Look at her face. Liz stretched her arms high over her head. She yawned loudly and looked at you with tired eyes. I think that's my cue to head to bed. Bye! I think so too. Have fun sharing the room with Liz. She laughed at that, and Liz shuffled off toward the guest bedroom. Before you had a chance to do anything else, you could feel the top of your head being tapped. You spun around to see Liz smirking. Nighty-night. I'm heading to bed too. It's been a long day and I have a lot to prepare for tomorrow. Exhaling, you automatically started fixing the back of your hair. When Liz didn't immediately walk away, you smiled softly at her. Everything okay? Her gaze moved away and you knew she had more to say. You waited patiently for Liz to compose her thoughts. It's been a good summer. It was nice to come back home. You nodded, and Liz gave you a teasing nudge as she went by. Amused, you turned and watched her go. Love you, little kiddo. Aww, Aww, she's so sweet. Aww. Well, she deserves to know. Liz stopped the walking and stared for a moment. She smiled softly at you. Get some sleep soon. Morning will be here faster than you know it. I will. She's great. She's the best. When Liz was out of sight, Mom started up the next conversation over her shoulder. Are you heading up to bed too? I want to finish getting everything cleaned up. No, I don't. I'm gonna go sleep. Desperately, you needed some time to decompress and clear your mind. You worried if you went off to bed now that you would end up staring at the ceiling all night. Bro, I swear, it's been like a whole entire week. I've been reading about a week of content. Ma came over too, smiling understandably. She pulled you into a big hug. Alright, you do what you need to do. I love you. Does your family go around saying I love you? God, I know I don't. When you were done hugging Mom pulled you into another hug, her actions basically handing you off to the other. You laugh jovially. This is like, pretend you have a family who's emotionally stable. What a great game. I can pretend. I love you so much. I love you too. Everyone's getting I love yous. Everybody gets I love yous today, huh? Oh, they both couldn't resist taking turns hugging you again. Your smile widened. It felt good to be so loved. Good night, kiddo. Sleep tight. Good night, sweetie. Good night. After that, your moms headed off toward their bedrooms down the hall. You were about to turn the other direction when you heard Mom's voice. What is it? And don't let the bed bugs bite. You heard Ma chuckling as you watched them go with a smile. Time passed, but you weren't entirely sure how much. Sighing, you sat up on the couch. It was a good rest, and I could have just went to sleep, but I sat here, and all of your tired muscles felt quite relaxed. You got up planning on going to bed when something out of the window caught your eye. It better not be Mr. Cove Holden again. Oh, it's fireflies. Is it fireflies? I see animation. Your feet brought you right back in front of a large window spanning the length of the back wall. You stared out into the hills behind your house. As if on cue, your phone came on, alerting you of a new notification. It was Cove. Want to hang out on the hill tonight? I mean, I thought I was going to sleep, but I guess not. Something inside you told you that this was the right kind of night to take a trip out there. You sent him back a very quick message. The night ended like 5 hours ago. Yeah. Oh, heart emoji. You went over to the front door, and stepping over to the threshold, you gave the living room one last glance over your shoulder. Bro. The night, it never ends. Then you shut the door behind you. Silently, you made your way to Poppy Hill. Not that I mind, I'm just surprised every time. With light steps in the dark, you walked across the hills behind your house. Up ahead at the very top, silhouetted beneath the night sky, was a familiar figure already waiting there. Although maybe I shouldn't be so surprised, the story kind of always ends here at the hills, because the fireflies start coming out at the end of summer. Smiling, you wonder just how he always got there first. He's got hops, I guess. You even had the advantage of living closer. Then again, and maybe it was only in your mind, but somehow Cove was intrinsically linked with this place. After all these years, it would be weird to scan this horizon and not find him there, as surreal as the shore without the sea. The distance between you was growing closer by the second. Hearing the grass and the earth crunch under your feet, Cove turned. A grin spread over his face as he saw you. You took your place standing behind him on the crest of the poppy hill, looking out over the ocean. Same as you'd done on countless times since he'd first arrived, when you found him on this very same spot. Donnie? Me? He had officially broken the silence, the spell that had held you both in place. You looked at him expectantly. Am I expecting a gift? You can give it to me, please. There's something I've always kind of wondered about. He cocked his head, giving you a sidelong glance. What did you think about me when we met? I was just a kid you'd never seen before, bawling his eyes out on the hill next to your house. He chuckled, his eyes drifting toward the sea beyond before looking back to you. When his gaze pulled back to you made it clear that he was genuinely invested in the topic. Luckily for him, you remembered what initially struck you in that moment. It was as if it only happened yesterday. Well, I remember noticing your hair being very bright green. Cove burst into genuine laughter at your reply. I guess that's fair. It did kind of stand out. It still does, Cove. Smiling, you continued to reminisce about that first meeting. Oh my god, I better be a... This game is always trying to get me to spill the secret that his dad paid me to talk to him. I'm not going to say it! I also remember trying to cheer you up. You better not say it, Donnie. I will destroy you. I'll shut down this game right now. I remember that too. You ran a hand along his hair, and you knew his line of questioning wasn't at an end, even before he spoke again. Do you remember what you thought about me, you know, as a person? Was I annoying or mean, or... Oh, you were definitely like a little rascal. That's what I thought. I didn't know what the feelings were at the time, but I thought you were cute right away. I thought you were special somehow. I was worried because you were just so sad. You were such a sad, depressing... Boy, I felt bad. Well, I felt that he was just a little rascally. I didn't... Let me think. I was worried because you were so sad and don't remember anymore. I didn't know what the feelings were at the time, but I thought you were cute right away. I wanted to get to know you, I guess, is the best answer. Cove's eyes widened, openly amazed by your response. Even though you're a little brat. Really? I don't know what I did to deserve that, but it's nice of you. Cove's hand drifted to the scar on his arm, his fingers unconsciously gliding over the mark. It was much less noticeable than it had been when the neon pink cast had first come off, shrunken gradually over the years as his body healed, then dwarfed in comparison to his growing body. Still, his fingers came back to it without thinking. He gave a half smile, not meeting your eyes. Are you gonna cry again, Cove? I feel bad now. The thoughts I had were, well, considering what you were thinking, I come across a lot worse of a kid. I mean, I don't deny that. What'd you think of me? You didn't like me?
No.
No, it definitely wasn't that. Cove lifted his head up, finally committing to meet your eyes fully once more. I remember you that day. I remember it really well. I don't think I'd ever be able to forget. I can picture the way you looked back when I first saw you standing right there. I still know the expression on your face when you chose to sit with me in the grass. He chuckled, self-derivatively. Self-derivative. Okay, hold on. Hold on, I got this. I'm not ruining the moment, you're ruining the moment. There is in a manner, expressing contempt or ridicule. Derisively. Derisively? Okay. He chucked himself self-derisively, interrupting his own monologue. You scared me at first. I figured I'd be alone out there until I had to face my dad again. And then suddenly another kid appeared out of nowhere. It was startling, but I got over that fast. You were a strange person in a strange place, but in that moment you were exactly what I needed. Somebody I could talk to freely about what was happening and how it made me feel. And you listened to me. You stayed with me. He sighed, then bit his lip and gave a small smile. I was a little bit spoiled growing up. You let him continue. Keep talking about how cool I am. He looked off again, seeking clarity for his thoughts in the expanse of the night sky. What I'm trying to say is, when I was younger, I viewed myself basically as the center of the universe. I didn't even imagine it wasn't like that. I think we're all like that in a little bit. Things didn't simply happen. That would be weird according to my little kid brain. It made far more sense that everything in my life had a specific connection to me somehow, right? He saw affirmation in you, wavy brows raised as he tried to explain his childlike logic. So at the time, he felt almost unreal. Like you weren't just anyone, some other kid who happened to live in the neighborhood their own whole life that wasn't connected to Cove Holden. No, to me, you were there so you could find me when I was lost. Oh, it's so cute. I kind of expected it all to vanish like a dream when that night was over. I would wake up and everything would be the same again. I'd be back in my bed at home, my real home with both my parents. The future was something I couldn't picture anymore. I didn't know what school would be like when I went back, or the table where I'd eat breakfast the next morning, or anything. And if I couldn't imagine it, how could I think it was something actually happening? I couldn't grasp my new reality. It was too big for me to hold all at once. So, I never thought I'd see you again. Then Cove beamed at you, his eyes shining bright. And I never ever would have been able to guess that 10 years later, when I was a grown-up, the two of us would still be together. Oh, Cove's monologue. It's the most I've heard him talk ever in my life. He's so sweet. I'm glad I met you. It's hard to believe it's been so long. Guess that makes me your dream come true. Or something. Mere words couldn't encompass the joy you felt. You smiled. Yeah, that's just a real heartfelt, Cove. I don't know what to say, man. Just thanks, buddy. Pat pat. I'm glad I met you. You're a good boy. I feel the same about you. But the smile faded from his face as his eyebrows drew closer. That was the worst day of my life at the time. The day my family broke apart. It was too heavy for me to even think about. I felt that way for I don't know how long. He held a hand over his heart, connecting with the pain he'd felt as a child, and looked at you earnestly. But that was never really true. Things have only gotten better with me, and with Dad and Mom, it was the change we all needed. His eyes were growing misty. I knew he was gonna cry. I knew Cove Holden was gonna cry. So, when I remember that time right now, it's not the point that my life was over. It was only the moment that I met the person I love. Cove Holden! Oh, you're so sweet. When I was crying to a stranger over what I thought I'd lost, I didn't have any idea that they would be the one thing in the world that I actually wouldn't be able to live without. Shut up. Take it back. You're so wonderful. You're such a good boy. Wow. Best boy. Like, we're gonna declare it now. Best virtual boy that I've ever met in a dating game, probably. I never want to lose you. You're so wonderful. Thank you for all of this. You couldn't reply to that. I said I love you to everyone this tonight, so I'll say it. I'll say it again. Just to be consistent, I love everyone in this game. Here I go. Don't look at me like that. I'm gonna destroy you. He took in a breath, forever amazed whenever you spoke those words. Oh gosh, Donnie said it to me back. I love you too, Donnie. I love me too. Then you hugged him. Oh yeah, sure. Oh, I'm not gonna kiss him. It's weird. I'm going to hug him. You reached out to wrap your arms around Cove. He opened his arms and clasped you to his chest. His grip was tight and reassuring. Cove sighed contentedly. His voice was as delicate as the petals on the poppies which crowned the hill. Hey Donnie, I'm so grateful you always stuck up for me. He didn't even know what to say back at that. His heartfelt appreciation left you speechless. He tilted his head up, thoughts lost in the sparse clouds above. I wonder how late it is. I guess it doesn't really matter. My dad is fine with me being out whenever. Oh god. Let's see. You could just use your phone. Anyways. Yeah, big anyways moment. You could just use your phone to check the time. You can still text your dad about what you're doing. You can still text your dad about what you're doing or message my moms. My moms might care, but I don't feel like telling them. You wanted to make sure you message your mom about what's going on. I know my moms would care. Your dad probably doesn't care. He sucks. What did he say? I wonder how late it is. I guess it doesn't really matter. My dad is fine. Oh. I'm like 18 years old. I don't care. Mr. Holden was content giving Cove all the freedom he could. It's awkward, but also gives me butterflies. That's exactly how I feel, Squidward. It's all those things. Mr. Holden was content giving Cove all the freedom he could. Are you going to lay in the grass now? How'd you know? You're predictable. With a chuckle, Cove flopped down on the ground and laid on his back, his usual way of spending time there. I am going to sit... I sat on Cove's chest, flattening him completely, and he died there that day. You also laid on your back. You laid down, snuggled against him. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds like the correct moment to do such a thing. You lowered yourself against Cove's side in the grass and wrapped an arm over his chest. Cove smiled at you and used his free hand to cradle your face. My face? It's... what the heck? Why does the sun come out? Both of you fully settled in to relax on the hill. It felt like just the beginning of one of your nightly outings, but then you realized the sun was peeking over the horizon. Did we fall asleep? Oops. Cove spoke up in a disbelieving tone. It was really late. Yeah, your neighbor wasn't a stranger to being awoken at dawn. However, not like this. He was normally an early sleeper, early riser. This unexpected sunrise particularly awed him. The two of you watched it on silently as the sun began to light the world. Cove then propped himself up on the back of his arms and looked at you with a soft expression on his face. Do you want to go back home? I could carry you if you're too tired. No, I want to stay here. On the poppy hill. You couldn't resist a yawn. But you were serious. It couldn't be time to go already. It's only been 24 hours. Cove chuckled affectionately and gripped you a little more. Okay, but it's been a long day. You've done a lot of things, like, really a lot. It has to come to an end sometime. I know. Since when were you okay with things ending? I know you're right, but why are you right? Shut up. That made him laugh again. It was a fair question. Since you made me feel better about it. Oh, okay, good answer, good answer. And we can still stay if you want to. Cove smiled brightly at you, as warm as the new rays of sun that were tickling your skin. In that moment, you couldn't have appreciated him being there more. You situated yourself to be comfortable. You lean on Cove. Oh, you're not gonna yourself. I'm not. I don't want to. I don't know if you guys want me to, but I'm not. You bent yourself against Cove for extra support. He tilted his head against yours. Good night, Cove. Good morning, Cove. You're my favorite neighbor. I like that. You're my favorite neighbor. You're mine too. Oh, thanks, buddy. The two of you remained together on that familiar poppy hill where you first met until the world began to fade and blur. You were falling asleep. A few more gentle words drifted into your consciousness.
See you tomorrow.
Oh yeah, also bye. Ashta mata na. Is that how you say it? Mata ashta na. Is that it? It's a Japanese for see you tomorrow, I'm trying to say, but I can't remember. Amata ashta. Your eyelids dipped, but you felt good. You were safe and relaxed. Everything that had come before this had reassured you of that. You were confident that when you opened them again, things would be okay. Ooh. And you opened your eyes. Instead of walls of your room, you were surrounded by open sky. You had died, and you're going to heaven. It was not soft pillows and sheets underneath you, but the bed of earth and grass that you'd taken last night. The day welcomed you with shining sun, a refreshing breeze, and the chirping of songbirds. How cozy and nice for you to sleep in the freaking grass. I can't imagine sleeping on the floor outside. You cupped your face with your hands as you sat up, feeling the imprint of blades of grass leaving lines into your cheeks. Oh, Cove's still here. Hello, Donnie. My favorite phrase to say is you're my favorite neighbor. That's gonna be my favorite phrase now, too. Hearing your name, you lowered your hands and looked around. There he was, your most influential neighbor, Cove Holden. Oh, art! Yay! It's pretty! I like it. He had made himself very comfortable, laying on his stomach with jewelry and shoes taken off, the flower in his hand. This is very 2014 Tumblr. Good morning. It's not really morning anymore. Cove laughed, tickling with the overall situation and simply being able to spend time like this. The only thing this picture needs is a flower crown, and then that's peak Tumblr aesthetic. Circa 2014. I told you I'd see you tomorrow. It's the exact same day, Cove. Pretty safe bet. We see each other nearly every day. Alright, good for you. I'm glad you're right. Yeah, these are good. These are all good responses. It's pretty safe bet. So, yeah. Smiling, you shook your head and left Cove to his victory. Cove turned his head up to the sky, his expression content. Looks like it's going to be a nice day. We'll have to come up with something to do to make the most of it. He trailed off, blinking slowly into the sunlight. Someday, when we're even older than we are now, I wonder what we'll end up remembering this moment for. What will we feel when we look back at it? Will it still be the same as what we're feeling right now? These are existential questions, Cove, but don't ask me that. I can't wait to see what the future is gonna look like again, but I think that's alright. I can't see what the future is gonna look like. Okay, well, and neither can I. You're way too sentimental. Pretty sure I'm gonna have forgotten about all this. Oh no, I will never forget, Cove. You are deep within the confines of my brain now, Cove. You're never leaving. I'll mark another new start for me. Okay. I don't know, but I'm looking forward to finding out. Cove turned back at you, nodding in full agreement. He eyed the hills sprawling out before you, and then down below, where the wild hill and nature gave way to civilization. This place is so pretty, dude. Your home and Cove's laid down at the bottom, neatly filed among the other houses in the neighborhood. Cove said nothing, but fixed you with a deliberate and meaningful look. As much as I like it here, it's okay if we leave now. We can always come back to see the poppies and the fireflies again, right? Cove met your eyes, waiting for what you were going to say in response. Right. Right, yeah, definitely, for sure. It really is going to be another nice day. You're amazing. Yeah, we better do that. You're not getting out of it. We'll all be together in one way or another. I might be able to manage that. Oh, that's not like that. We'll all be together one way or another. Yeah, he didn't know where that came from, but Cove blinked slowly, his eyes still locked on you. Though you didn't need to see his face to know that he adored you. If there had been any room for doubt, the tender way he spoke would have filled it up. You're one of a kind, huh? Yeah, I'm pretty great. He put his foot up. I would too. Cove beamed at you. His expression was so unlike the one he'd worn when he first found him here. Swallowed in sadness and uncertainty. The Sad Boys Club was accepting back then, and he was a leader. Yet you couldn't help but glimpse that boy once more underneath his bright expression and matured features. Oh, where are we going? Oh yeah, we're going home. I forgot. Okay, let's go. He offered you a hand. You accepted it. Your palm fitted around his. Cove lifted himself up, pulling you along too. Our parents probably aren't gonna come running for us this time. We've got to make our own call. And I say we can't hide away forever. Poppy Hill is just one part of things. There are more things out there for us than this time and this place alone. Let's enjoy it. You couldn't say whether you were the one that broke into a run if Code hadn't been the one to start it, or if your feet had simultaneously made that choice for you both. The end result was the same, with the two of you dashing down the hill like children, with a nostalgic revelry that only could come as an adult. As the wind whipped past you, you knew that family and friends were waiting at the end of your sprint. There were more memories to make after all. Life takes another step forward. I achieved our life. I did it! We did it! Animation? Ghibli. A Ghibli movie is happening? Oh. I don't know why. I don't ever expect this game to be over. Anyway, yay! Yatta! We did it! That was nice. How are you guys feeling? How you feel about this game, huh? Pretty good. Pretty good. I want to play more for sure on my own, definitely. I'll get that convinced me. I liked it a lot. I gotta look up these artists afterwards. Cove was amazing. I definitely liked the teenage years a lot better. I liked everything, but the teenage years was just more relatable, I guess. I don't remember that much about being a kid. I just remembered I was a nerd. So yeah, that's the end. So sad, but also kind of nice, because I know the thing about the games is that I can just come back and play it, and I also know there's more. But the other thing about games is that I don't finish them because I like to pretend that if I don't finish them, then there will always be more and that'll never end. Yeah. Definitely one of the better dating Game Boys. And next week, like I said before, we're gonna do a draw stream for this, so we can talk even more about this fun little game. And maybe I will play some before that stream, and I can talk to you about if what I found was fun. Probably is, honestly. What is this song? Did they say it? Wow, it's nice. It's chill, I just want to listen to it. So I don't, is the DLC gonna go right off of this? Interesting. The wedding DLC, I mean. I'm thinking about it. Now I kind of want to get the wedding DLC. I didn't want to marry Cove, but I'm curious. That's all I'm saying. They got me curious. I want to kind of see what he's like as an adult. I just... I also want to see Liz as a proper adult. Darn it. Darn it, they got me. They got me. Alright. Okay, I'll get your stupid game. I'm not gonna play it on stream though. This was really fun to do on stream though, even though I can't read. I'm glad you guys were here to listen to me. I can't believe you made it through the whole thing if you did. Thank you very much for spending all that time with me throughout this whole playthrough. These clouds are so pretty. Thank you for playing, and thank you for watching the video. You're welcome for playing. There's an after credit scene. And like a movie? No, we're done here. Whatever the rest is, I don't know. Whatever the rest is, I don't know. Game's over. And I'm gonna end it because I'm tired and it's only 8:40. Well, like and subscribe for more things like this, I guess. The game replacing this is Kirby, the new Kirby game. I don't know where after Kirby, probably another dating game. Honestly, love them. Maybe I'll just, maybe if this game comes out in time, like the next iteration of this game comes out, maybe I'll play that. I'm kind of addicted a little bit, just a little bit. Okay, for real, it's time to say goodbye. It's hard to say goodbye, but it's time. Johnny.